Yeah, less than a day.
How
and
many
we will be
hours?
playing Guild Wars 2 Ender Dragons.
10,
launches
19
at 9
hours
a.m.
away.
PST.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there's like a pre-show.
Indeed.
So like, yeah.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
And-
they've got Rook doing a history of, I guess, the story again, like the whole thing leading up to Cantha and all that, like she did sort of before.
Yeah. Do you think she has to write a new script because she has that one in the bag already?
Just reuse it and hope no one notices.
Well, I mean, it was a good script, so that's what I would do.
Seems like the play. Have you seen there's going to be a cinematic trailer? They're just dropping. They're just...
Yeah, like a full cinematic trailer. Is this the first one that Guild Wars 2's ever done?
No, they had one with Heart of Thorns. Had one with Heart of Thorns. Yeah,
yeah, but that was like an artistic style cinematic trailer. That one, rather than like a full. Yeah, I guess so.
It's a little bit of a different style, right? Yeah, it's not quite the same as that one, but it is a similar type of product, right? It's a launch cinematic trailer. They're about to drop it. They're gonna just get it out there and get people. And obviously, there's been a little teaser posted on the Twitter right now. It looks pretty good, actually. I'm really happy they did. I'm really happy they decided to do one, because I think that's what Guild Wars 2 has been lacking in some of its marketing, is that thing that just gets people, it kind of grabs people with something that they can, just watch in like a 1-minute video, 2-minute video, something like that. They can get excited about it and get hooked in.
I agree. What I will say though. Oh yeah, go ahead.
You know what I really have been liking is the I called it Heart of Thorns. The End of Dragons remixes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, the sick beats, man. Oh,
yeah?
They've been good. They've been good. I like it.
You've been blasting that, getting pumped?
Love it.
Really?
Yeah,
I have plans for those. I have plans for those. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Only cultured people will find it.
Yeah.
The one that came out today, I didn't really like that much. It kind of felt like a dubstep YouTube hype beast intro music. But the other ones,
a lot of them are a little bit dubsteppy, electronic remix kind of thing. But I like that sort of thing. So
not the good kind of dubstep, like the old UK dubstep, the Skrillex dubstep.
Oh yeah,
that's what the one today was. But the other ones have been really good, I think.
I gotta listen to them. I don't think I've listened to them yet. But
they're missing out.
I like them. They're good.
So what do you guys think about a launch day trailer versus a trailer a few weeks or a month before?
It's kind of weird.
I actually don't mind it so much, because I think that Arena wants to create as much hype as possible on the actual launch day.
And I guess they don't really care if it generates new players the day of launch versus like a week or two down the road, because it's the same deal, kind of.
Yeah. I think ArenaNet's marketing strategy around the entire expansion has been based around as much hype to players who don't play the game and like on the day. I feel like the reason you would release something early is to hype up your own community, right? If you release like a cinematic trailer, say a month ago, 2 months ago, I think that everyone else is going to go berserk, right? Inside the game already. But I think ArenaNet has kind of quite intelligently recognized that people are just mentally drained, just worn out husks, and can't really get excited about anything. Within the Guild Wars 2 community, they're like, you know what? We're going to go all in and full dedicate to getting new players from outside the game excited. And I think that actually works better when you release things very close to the actual release of the game. Because if you say, oh yeah, big trailer, oh, by the way, our game's coming out in 3 months. Well, people will have forgotten about it by then, right? But if you go, oh yeah, big cinematic trailer, let's drop that bomb on the day, or like maybe like a week before or something like that. Ooh, that's going to be exciting to people.
Yeah, a week before to me makes sense. On the day makes slightly less sense. But unless I was thinking that maybe, because I think a big cinematic trailer like that is a big investment for advertising. So they want to get as much use of that as possible. So I think maybe they use it if Steam ever comes available, and they use it like as the Steam trailer,
What they should have done is they should have embedded it in the install CD. So whenever everyone bought their physical copy of the game and they were running the installer, they could view it as an extra option. That would have been perfect.
Yeah. That's
you guys remember back when there'd be trailers for other games on install CDs of other games?
Yeah. Teasers, sneak previews. Yeah. That was a different time, yeah.
Or like demos.
When you'd buy physical copies of games.
You'd buy Crackdown so you could play the Halo 3 beta, and no one would have bought Crackdown otherwise.
There is no physical copy of Ender Dragons.
Yeah.
I think that's what Brazil was joking
the first
about.
one.
Yeah, that was just like Big Nose Ted, Inks. It just went over your head.
I can't believe nobody, not Teapot, not anybody corrected me on Big Nose Ted.
Did you see that, Teapot?
Wait,
no,
what happened?
he didn't see it.
So we were doing the podcast with Deeg, and Inks is just casually talking about all the features from the new expansion, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of excited for the Big Nose Ted strike mission."
I was hyped. I thought Big Nose Ted was a real strike, and I was excited to go back and see what they could do, like with an old mundane boss. I thought he was coming back in the plot somehow. I thought it was real, and Brazil's just looking at me like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? Pardon my language. Are you out of your mind?" And I'm like, "No." And Deeg and Brazil are like, "That was a meme. That's a joke. It's not real." And I'm like, "What?"
He was genuinely surprised.
I was crushed. My world was shattered. I was like, I was expecting Big Nose Ted come launch day, and there's no Big Nose Ted.
You can dream.
Feels bad.
It could happen eventually.
Well, it's not out yet. It could still be real.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know for sure. Yeah.
There's a clip on Deeg's channel. Go to YouTube and look for Deeg, and he's just talking and casually says it, and I'm just like, I was just caught off guard, and I said, "Wait, what did you just say?" It was so perfect. It was wonderful.
For like a year, I have believed that meme that Big Nose Ted was real. I thought that was a real, like, leaked. He was going to be a strike.
That's why Brazil made a guide about it, because he knows.
Yeah,
he's going to be made
I
into a
totally
strike
bought
mission.
into it. I didn't realize it was a joke. I totally didn't realize it, and nobody along the way had ever corrected me that that's not a real thing.
I'll link the video in chat.
I think. Oh, you know what? Just thinking about it again.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason why you might do a launch day trailer instead of just because of using it as extra stuff in Steam would be if it contains spoilers and you release it on launch day so that people have the opportunity to play it at the same time as seeing the trailer.
Yeah, but if they see the trailer, then they play the game afterwards because they're attracted to the game. Hasn't the game now been spoiled for them?
I suppose so. So then who's it for in the first place again? Yeah, good point. I don't know.
I don't think they'd put spoilers in the trailer. I think it will be very, I don't want to say generic, but they'll make it kind of mysterious, right? It's just going to be action, cool things, right? You know, characters fighting each other, right? Ominous villain, right? That's how a lot of trailers end up going, you know? Like, I feel like that's
There's also parkour in there.
Yeah, that's every World of Warcraft trailer in existence, right? It's like, oh, action, cool things, magic, right? And then, whoa, reveal, big reveal. Oh, something's happening. Wow. But that's good. It's effective. It is very exciting. So yeah, and the Steam thing as well. I think that's a pretty good point, like with Steam, because obviously they want to be able to reuse stuff like this. So if they make it hype, they can again kind of get that on Steam and use it as some kind of like trailer thing. Because they did that weird trailer. Do you guys remember that weird trailer where everyone was like wielding glow sticks and it was really glowy? It looked a bit like a mobile game.
Yeah, the mobile. Game.
That's what they have right now. They probably don't want to have that as like their big, their big thing for Steam when that comes out.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean, we don't know when Steam's coming out. Like, we haven't really heard anything from ArenaNet regarding their plans on that, but it's probably going to be, I don't know, at some point. At some point, it's going to be in the mix. So it's tomorrow. Yeah, just gonna. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, we're releasing on Steam.
I don't think it'll be tomorrow.
There should be
maybe a month after release.
Oh, really?
That seems potential. If there's a Steam release tomorrow, that would be surprising.
Yes, it would.
I say a month after release because that's generally when all MMOs start to suffer losses as far as bleeding off player retention. And so if you re-release on Steam a month after release, you're going to get an infusion of new players from Steam. So
I'm just excited for it because if it ever comes, it'll give me a reason to buy a Steam Deck so that I could play Guild Wars 2 like remotely or in bed or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
It works really well on Linux from what I've heard. It works pretty much flawlessly, which is actually really cool.
You can AFK farm from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Your own bed. That'll be good for me.
Have you seen how big the Steam Deck is, though?
It's not too overwhelmingly big, but it's got some heft to it.
It's like they showed it in comparison to like the PSP and stuff, and it's like 50% bigger than a PSP and twice as thick. It's got heft. It's
got
Pretty
actual
meaty.
PC hardware though.
Yeah,
It's not like the Switch that has a 10-year-old Android phone processor in it, and all the graphics are horrible. No, that's literally what the Switch processor is. The CPU. It's like 10-year-old Android hardware. It's terrible. That's why all the games look like trash. And there's pop-in and lag. If you actually want a mobile gaming experience, it's better just to buy like an iPhone 10.
It's brutal. Just Brazil's coming down hard on the Switch there.
It's true.
Out of nowhere.
Nintendo's anti-consumer, so I'll be hard on them.
We have to be careful. Nintendo will get us.
Good.
That's true.
They've dispatched their assassins already.
It was Brazil. It wasn't me. Get him. Do you think that they want to do to kind of like fix the game before they do the Steam release though? Like have stuff like DirectX 11, have alliances in the game. I think Steam won't be here for a while. It'll be at the earliest. Right. At the earliest, I think we're looking at kind of the fall, the autumn of this year.
Yeah, maybe
it's going to be a while. It's not going to be dropped soon. They got to.
You're right. DirectX 11 alliances in the game for sure. And then there's going to be probably a month or two of bug fixes and balance changes after EOD release to get everything kind of in line. Mm-hmm. And then they could probably start thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. You know what I want to talk about though? What are you guys doing on launch? What's the tomorrow? Ender Dragons, boom. You're in the game. What do you do? First?
I'm going to start my story review.
Oh, really? Wait, are you serious?
I'm going to make a full story review for Ender Dragons.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so positive. And it's going to be serious and positive.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure it's going to be terrible. It's going to be the story.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
I don't believe it's going to be all positive.
No, it's going to be
possible.
100% positive. It's going to be a glowing positive review. Even though I'm sure it's going to be like the Big Nose Ted video. It fooled Inks. Inks thought it was real. That's how good it's
got me for like a year. That was a good long con.
Mm-hmm. So glowing story review. Yeah, what are you going to do, Boots? What are you going to do? Look at Mad King runes?
I mean, I have...
Mad King runes?
Is there going to be new Mad King runes?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a new set. There's probably going to be a new set of runes, right, in the game?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, not just one. I mean, one for each class.
Probably, and then probably like a few extra bonus ones, right? Because there were a few random ones that came with Path of Fire, and then one for each specialization. So probably a new rune for every elite spec, and then and maybe a few just bonus ones, right?
Look, I have obligations. Unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Clearly, I have to make a new build for each class.
Okay.
However,
a bad build.
I am also a procrastinator, so I will probably not start working on that at first. I will probably instead do the story. I think story. I'm not going to make a review of it, but I'm going to play it and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to do the hero points naturally. I'm not going to use the.
You're not going to abuse.
I'm not going to abuse. I'm going to at least the first time. I'm going to do each hero point properly before fully unlocking the elite specs. And then that's for one character. And then after I've done all the things, I'll probably just unlock it immediately. Yeah, that's my plan. Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to be racing Teapot.
Wait, really?
I'm going to fail massively, but I'm going to be racing Teapot. I'm playing Revenant. I already know that.
Yep.
Getting into the story, and I'm just going to burst the story as fast as I can, which is still pretty slow. But I'm going to burst the story as fast as I can. I want to get the strikes right away because I feel like right now in the game, I'm way behind on strikes and stuff like that. Like I just finished Icebrood Saga like 2 days ago. That's how behind I am.
Wow.
So I want to be up to date right out of the gate. I want to get through the story as fast as I can and get into strikes right away.
Did you get the legendary amulet, by the way?
No.
I still haven't finished Icebrood Saga, and I'm not going to. I got to Drizzlewood Coast, and I got to the part where you run around and interact with bushes to get the bad char to come out and you kill them. And I said the story's not worth all of this.
But
This
what
gameplay is
what if
bad.
you do it to get the amulet and
No.
do it with the pretext of doing a
legendary
review?
amulet.
No, it's not worth it. It's
You
not
need
worth
to
a
review the
legendary
story.
amulet.
Yeah, look, you've already committed to fully reviewing the story.
Yeah, and you can't
No.
can't review. So I'm sorry, Brazil. You cannot review the End of Dragon story without first reviewing the Icebrood Saga.
Yeah, I absolutely can. I'm just
No.
gonna pretend.
Let me
that
tell
I
you,
did it.
that last story step is brutal to get through.
Wait, what?
That last
Why?
episode, the last episode it's just talking, just constant talking. And then I had to go through the gate a billion freaking times for more talking. It was just brutal for me. I didn't even have the sound on. I was watching videos and streams and everything in the background.
7 at a time.
I literally don't care what they're saying. I just needed to finish the story, and it took forever.
I still haven't even done Dragonstorm. I haven't done it a single time.
Wow. I mean, why not
Okay.
though?
Why would I
pretty
do
good.
it?
It's pretty
I
good.
don't care.
Pretty cool. It's a
It's got-
cinematic experience.
It has Bram and Ryland. Why would I play it?
Well, I mean, they're on fire.
Okay, so just so Sword Art knows, it's not that it's terrible. First of all, I already watched the Wooden Potatoes review, so I know what already happens in the lore. So I don't need to relive that experience that I've already had on somebody else's channel. It's not terrible, but I needed to get it done fast, and it just felt like it dragged on for like 2 hours or something. I'm
I
probably
will say-
exaggerating, but yeah, I just wanted to get it done.
I wouldn't say that about the final episode. I find that final episode was kind of short and like I didn't feel it dragged on that much. But I would say that. So I played through
Maybe it
all
was
the
episode
DRMs
before the final.
Maybe it was the one before the final.
Yeah, maybe it was. I could be wrong.
But I played all the DRMs, on one character as they came out originally. But then I replayed them on another character because I wanted to get him through for some reason. All in a row when they were all released, and that did drag on a little bit. Just one DRM.
And to be honest, I will say that I regret not playing that content when it first came out because I would have enjoyed it more rather than just trying to push myself through it. Like I'm going to speed run through the story for End of Dragons, but I'm still going to listen to the whole story as I go through. So I'm still going to get the beats. I'm still going to enjoy it. And then I'm going to do a different character on a second playthrough where I can go through and sort of nitpick and dissect the story as I go through. But for my first one, I'm going to listen to it, be respectful of it, go through the story, get the strikes. That's my ultimate goal.
I think most of all, though, I'm going to just soak in the atmosphere
Ah, yes.
of the expansion. Yeah.
I just want to
anime.
get the strikes and do top DPS.
Yeah, just top
I
down.
want to do strike missions with friends and hang out on Discord, and I want to play with pugs that I can teach and help them get better. And I want to do
100%.
top DPS and play Heal Scourge.
And
I-
and
You're going to
play
do top
Heal Scourge.
DPS as Heal Scourge.
Maybe. I mean,
He
it's-
plays on
it's
NA.
entirely
Anything's
possible.
possible, right? I mean, yeah,
It's
it
possible.
could happen.
I played with a.
Oh, with the new armor set, you could do it.
But you have
New
no healing
armor
power.
set.
Ritualist.
Oh, you don't have any. You could heal Scourge with no healing power for sure.
I mean, you could, but then you just have like some useless concentration.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Plague Doctor is really good.
Yeah, but you have healing on that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so
the
he's
point.
going to stick with Plague Doctor.
I think I still haven't unlocked all of the POF specializations. I at least don't have Mirage unlocked. Because
gotta
I
get
just
on that.
didn't
How-
see a point to getting it.
This man says he's going to review the story. Doesn't even have
I
the
think
elite specs unlocked.
You need to unlock Mirage in order to train yourself
No,
for Vindicator.
no. I
Because
don't
you
think
have,
Ah,
you have to
yes.
learn how to live with one dodge.
Oh, that-
Harbinger seriously may be the only spec that I unlock. If I'm completely honest, I don't even know if
Only
I'm gonna unlock
Harbinger.
it.
What about Spectre?
I don't care about Spectre.
Spectre's
Wow,
a
see,
Spectre's
what do you
essentially
I'm
mean?
Spectre.
excited for Spectre.
Spectre is big.
The
It's a
expansion for me,
necromancer.
I want to play with friends and have a good time hanging out, and I want to do the in-game content. There's
pretty good.
the rest of the stuff I really just don't care about. And I want to just be clear, like I'm not being negative. I'm not being a doomer.
Honestly,
It's
that
just-
sounds nice.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
If the other people want to
Sounds
enjoy
cozy.
every aspect of it, there's no problem with that. I have no problem with people enjoying the content. If you're probably going to get a better value out of it than me. That's just the stuff that I want to do and that I care about.
Yeah. I am going to take up that challenge, though, Inks, because you are right. I'm blasting the story. Strike missions, meta events. Day 1, I want to have all masteries maxed out, all strike missions done, okay, all elite specs unlocked. I want to see all the runes, all the new sigils, if there are new sigils. I'm going to blast the entire game. I am going to make sure that by day 2, I'm bored and I hate the game.
And then you're able to complain on the forums about it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. I'm happy.
So you're gonna deroyer the whole thing.
Yeah,
in a day.
I am speed running, getting to the point where I can start flaming the game for 0 content, and I want to have that done within 24 hours.
In that forum post, you're gonna write, "What the hell? Why aren't there interesting rewards? I had all the runes and sigils and armor upsets available to me on day 1."
Yeah, and that's the thing, because look, go and watch my video, !prepare on how to prepare for Ender Dragons. But you know what? I have over 3,000 potions of PvP reward and 3,000 world versus world, 2,000 PvP. So if there is a new reward track that comes with the expansion, like there was with Path of Fire and Heart of Thorns, I can just run that reward track 80 times. And I'll automatically unlock loads of skins and have all the currencies that I'll ever need for the open world maps. Okay. So I am in the perfect position to ruin the game immediately on launch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're going harder than I am because I won't get all that done. But I want the story done, and I want to experience strikes right away.
Yeah,
that's what I'm really excited for.
The good news is, though, that you do that on your main account, and then you have 24 other accounts to experience the story and stuff properly.
I don't think you understand what alt accounts are for, Boots.
They're for login rewards.
And on all your alt accounts, you don't just do the core story every time?
No,
I'm afraid not.
You don't.
I did that with one alt account, and I regret spending that much time. So I've got about 12,000 hours or 13,000 in my main account. Mm-hmm. I've got an additional 11,000 hours on my alt account.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, on your alt?
How many hours did you say?
That sounds like multi-boxing to me.
So
11,000 on your alt account?
Yeah, maybe it's...
Or 1,100?
No, 11,000. Yeah.
That's a lot.
So I probably have like 24,000 hours in total in 10 years.
Tio. Did you run them simultaneously?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Originally.
Oh, okay.
And so for the last 2 years, I haven't really played that alt account. So that alt account is kind of stuck pre-Icebrood Saga, where my main account is past all that.
Because if you didn't run them simultaneously, that would equate to like
15
hours of Guild Wars 2 every day for 10 years?
Yeah, no, those two accounts ran at the same time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I stopped playing my alt account whenever you couldn't have the username and password stored in the launcher anymore. I guess you can do that with Launch Buddy or whatever it's called, but I just had desktop shortcuts for my accounts, and whenever they took that away, it was just too much trouble. I couldn't.
Let me rephrase. I wasn't multi-boxing. I don't multi-box. I would play one day on my main account. I'd play the next day on my alt account. I'd play the next day on my main account, the next day on my alt account, so that I was progressing them at the same time.
Okay, wait, hold on. Say those numbers again. I need to do this quick calculation. It was 11,000.
Yeah, I think the alt account's at like 11K, and my main account's at like 12 something.
So that's 23,000 hours divided by
10 years.
10 years divided by 365 days. That's 6.3 hours a day for 10 years of Guild Wars 2.
How many hours per day?
6.3.
Seems about accurate.
That's
Inks
a lot.
is blasting. He's blasting. One quarter of his life has been Guild Wars 2.
You got to remember, I'm retired, so I have nothing to do.
Fair enough.
With my time.
He lives,
like quite
breathes,
literally,
and shits Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, Noisy Toy, you're absolutely right. There's tons of AFK time. Absolutely.
And here I thought Inks was a casual, but nope. Inks is 1 to 5 times more hardcore than I am.
The only thing I didn't do is that second account doesn't have very much world versus world experience, and I never rated on it. So,
wow. So you're half a casual. You're a giga casual.
I'm a half a casual. I mean, I'm super casual now because I'm back in training runs because I forget how to do half the bosses.
And you still flame people, right?
And I still flame people.
You flame in training runs. Oh my god. People think I'm the
terrible.
problem.
No, you don't want to, you don't really want to raid with me. I have a lot of people say, I want to raid with you, Inks.
I've had people in real life find out that I play Guild Wars 2 because I've just mentioned it here and there. And they'll say, "Oh, what game do you play? What games do you play?" And I'll just say, "I play Guild Wars 2 and Fallout New Vegas." And they'll say, "Oh, I bought that game a month ago. Do you want to play together sometime?" I'll just have to tell them you wouldn't have fun playing with me. It wouldn't be a good experience for you.
Yeah. It's weird, but
well, not even because I would be toxic or flame them. It's just if you're at the point where you're running around transforming into a snow leopard in Wayfarer Foothills killing rabbits and you haven't even gotten to level 80, I don't want to go do that with you. And by the time you get to level 80 with gear that you can raid on, you're not going to know what's going on, and I can try and teach you, but you'll just have a bad experience. It won't be top tier because you're going to... So it wouldn't be great for either of us.
I often, it's funny you bring that up, actually. Wouldn't it be really interesting if the core game was a bit more engaging?
Yeah.
I feel like the reason you say that is because the game is very easy at the start.
Yeah.
Right?
You mean engaging is slightly more difficult? Not
No.
it's engaging as a experience.
I mean, not if you're a player now. If you're not
if you're a veteran MMO player or like a game, it's less engaging if you're a veteran MMO player and know how everything works.
I often think about that and go like, oh man, wouldn't it be great to start again, play Guild Wars 2 from the beginning, fresh account, no mounts, no masteries. But then I realized, actually, no, it wouldn't actually.
It's terrible.
Well, it's not terrible. It's just that it wouldn't be very. I don't think I'd find it very engaging, right? Because all the mobs would die in like one hit. There'd be no threat.
You understand the game to the point now where it trivializes that first experience.
It's not even that. It's that if Sarah wanted to do this. She wanted to go make a new character, and she really enjoys completing everything, and she enjoys learning how all the skills work as you unlock them and adding new gear and getting new stuff. And she wanted to go back and play with me, and I'm like, okay, we'll play for an hour or two, and I would kind of get through it, and then I would log off, and she would have left me behind by 15 levels because she just enjoyed it and enjoyed going through it no matter how many times she had done it. But for me, after 3 heart quests, I just can't take it anymore, and they never get any better either.
Seriously. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to simp ArenaNet. I'm going to simp them big time.
Really?
I actually don't mind hearts. Never have.
You don't mind running and collecting heart or frogs to give to the lion guard and jumping up and down on worms that come out of the ground. You don't enjoy running around fixing faucets that the bandits cause leaks.
I actually don't mind
that?
it. Yeah, no, I actually do like it. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah. Dude, I play classic WoW. I play classic WoW. Like this is just nothing.
I was going to say it doesn't. It's not really any better or worse than World of Warcraft when it's like, go get 10 bear hides, and then you have to kill about 47 bears to get 10 bear hides,
I would never play a game like that. The way that I like to play a new game and start a new character, I'm the kind of person where I leave Good Springs, I'm going north to New Vegas through the Deathclaws without a stealth boy. I'm going to climb and jump on top of the boxcars, and I'm going to headshot them in stealth with my varmint rifle until they all die. That's the kind of like new player experience I want. I want to be frustrated.
Do that.
I want to die over and over. I want it to be incredibly hard.
And just go straight up to Frostgorge Sound.
Yeah, and I want to be able to pickpocket grenades into the Great Khans at the top of the cliff too. Guild Wars 2 Heart Quest, that's just not for me. It's not the kind of gaming I want as a new character.
That's fair.
And I do understand that, but and maybe people can sort of correct me. I haven't played the last couple of MMOs that have sort of come out, but hearts aren't so bad for me or in my mind because they're kind of slightly better than traditional questing, which nearly every other MMO has.
They're better than many systems of traditional questing, yeah. like, kill 10 rats, that kind of thing, for sure.
Well,
Definitely it's more immersive if you take the time to, immerse yourself in it. But if you're doing map completion and you're trying to just get through everything, it's less immersive because you're just like press F on a lot of things. But yeah, no, if you allow yourself to be in the game, it's a good experience.
Yeah, I like the core game. It always makes me a little bit uneasy when people say, oh yeah, the core game in Guild Wars 2 is dog shit. I don't actually feel that way. I've always quite liked it. It was one of the things that I really liked when I first played Guild Wars 2, is how the core game played out. If we're like,
Did you like it?
Terrible, it's trash.
Did you like it during the new player experience where it would tell you to go north into Frostgorge Sound from Wayfarer Foothills?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I much preferred the incarnation of it that I played, where it wasn't broken up into chapters. I think that was a really big mistake. I have no idea why they did that. That was just, yeah. I did not like it at all, actually. But yeah, I do like it, actually. I think it's pretty good. I just think it would be, it's funny. I was talking to someone about this the other day. That they were expressing their frustration with not being able to get tags on the legendary sand giant in Dry Top because it would die within 10 seconds of spawning. Okay.
What? Are you serious? That used to take 8 minutes to kill.
Yeah, they said if you aren't near it, if you aren't like within like a 10 to 20 second distance of it when it spawns, it's dead by the time you get there.
Are you serious?
This is a bit off topic, right? But, I want to talk about what's going to happen after Ender Dragons. But the core game is something that I miss it in a way. I miss doing the world bosses, right? Because they're still quite good, but they just kind of, they just die. I don't know if you've done like the fire elemental recently, but...
Yeah, well, that's because you have a lot of level 80 characters coming in with a very good idea of what they're doing.
But fire
believe me.
Do you know
level 5 area?
Do you guys remember? There are probably not many people here are old enough to even remember this. And when I say old, I mean in the game. On launch, the fire elemental like butchered people. Okay, yeah. It actually was fire. I remember doing the fire elemental on my elementalist. I was wandering around there, and then it fired like a fire ring at me and just one-shot me. I was just dead, instantly dead. I remember seeing the corpses. It was actually like a bloodbath, right? Everyone was like trying to like run around screaming in terror, right? Like new friends, new frogs running around, flailing their arms around. It was farming everyone. Everyone was dead to the fire elemental. They actually nerfed it, right? Like because so many people were dead to level 15 fire elemental.
Melandru and Balthazar were like that too. People would do. You were lucky if someone killed Balthazar 2 times a month and the temple was open for the obsidian shards. It was damn near impossible to do Balthazar, and Melandru still hard farms people. If you go to that and Curse Shore to do it, there'll be 15 players there. One of them will have a good build. 9 of them will not know what they're doing, and Melandru will just one-shot all the players that don't know what's going on. It is a feed fest.
Yeah, the ore maps, especially at launch, were not friendly, not easy to really. The events were tough; they would fail a lot. Yeah.
I kind of want a little bit of that hostility brought back into the world. It's something I've realized. I've been playing WoW Classic a little bit, and the game hates you. It actually does. Like the game despises you with like every fiber of its being. It will try and kill you at every turn.
But you didn't realize it back then because you didn't have too many other things to compare it to.
Well,
I mean, if you compare classic WoW to like classic EverQuest was way more brutal.
Exactly. Yeah, WoW. It's even more brutal. Like,
so when you got to WoW, you were like, man, this is so easy. I only have to run back to my corpse and everything's there. Awesome.
In EverQuest, did crafting have a chance to fail in that game? Or was that another game? Someone was talking to me in a computer science class years ago about how they were playing an MMO and they would go try to craft something, but the crafting had like a 30 or 40% chance to fail, and you would have to go gather all the materials again, do all the quests again, and then bring it and try to craft it, and it could just fail like 6 times in a row.
Insane.
Yeah, I don't know. All I remember really from EverQuest, and I didn't play it very long, the only thing I really remember was being like totally self-loathingly destroyed by getting killed and going back and losing pretty much everything I had worked for like months. And it's just like, ugh.
So yeah, back to your idea of bringing Heart of Thorns at launch difficulty into the core world.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best strategy for getting new players to play the game. However, I will say that I do like the idea of adding hard mode for all the core maps.
Hard
mode like in
for
Guild
the
Wars 1,
maps?
like in Guild Wars 1 where
It's an
everything's
instance?
where it's a new instance for level 80 characters.
The problem with that is
I know you're dividing the
population.
player base. It's
Yeah.
not a great idea, but I would like to see it still.
You know, I would like that, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what
Can you
is going to
imagine-
happen though? Because
What?
actually,
End of Dragons coming out.
I'm segueing this back to End of Dragons now. Because
Interesting.
as I'm sure people are aware, some people got a little bit of, little sneak preview of some open world content. I was one of them. I was in the mix. And we also had the opportunity to ask the devs a few questions. And I asked if the open world maps in End of Dragons were kind of aimed at introducing basic mechanics and basic combat premises to the player base. And they said yes. Okay. The event we played, it was like this kind of defeating this, well, spoiler alert. Okay, we were fighting a boss. I mean, if I won't spoil it, I'll be very ambiguous. We were fighting a boss and it had various attacks. Like it would do the Sabbath of Flame Wall, right? It would send out lightning strikes that you would have to jump over and dodge and stuff like that. It actually had a lot more kind of mechanical intensity compared to just like randomly spamming AoEs that don't do anything actually. And yeah, the devs also said that you're going to see that type of design a lot. So I think we're going to see a lot more interesting, engaging open world with End of Dragons, which is kind of where we were going with this. Like, oh, wouldn't it be good if like the game was a little bit more intense in the open world? So it was like always fun to play. Yeah, I like that a lot. And yeah, this idea is that there's supposed to be a good amount of coordination required in some of the events to complete, some of the meta events, I would imagine. And in general, they just made the game a little bit more structured with the way it works. I think what they're really trying to do, and I think you'll see this in the story and in strike missions too, they're going to be using these same telegraphs, right? Green circle, red circle, orange AoE, orange cone, orange line, right? There have been a few preview videos that have come out from some big content creators like Jesse Cox, where they've shown a bit of strike mission footage, and it's like, oh yeah, AoE, orange, right? Green, stand there. Red is bad, right? I think they've been very, very careful to have these very clear set of almost like defined things that are good and are bad. And I think we're going to see that a lot in the open world. And you might even see a lot of the open world mirror the instance content to an extent with the way they work mechanically, which I think is fascinating. I've got to say, this is going to sound crazy coming from me, right? But I've always been the most excited for what they're going to do with the open world, because I think the open world is one of those things that really sets Guild Wars 2 apart from its competition.
Absolutely.
Actually. And
Yeah, the difficulty of some of those
capitalize on it. Yeah.
So Jesse Cox made a video this time, huh?
Yes.
Because last time, they flew him out. He played the game. They fed him, housed him,
Delicious.
and he made no content.
Well, also, I don't think they signed
They
a contract
they
that said
probably
they had to make content.
They probably remembered to tell him to make content this time.
Yeah, they said the first time, and they flew everyone out. They said, yeah, you can
And he
make
wasn't the
content.
only one, but anyway.
Right. They flew a lot of people, a lot of big YouTubers out. I think
And most of them made zero
Right.
content.
Yeah,
That
I
is
think
true.
they just said that you can make
Props
content
to
if you
Angry
want.
Joe who actually did make content.
Well, yeah. There's always a risk of that. But this time we do have content. And that's something that we didn't really talk about, but I think that there's going to be a lot of streamers streaming the game on launch, actually. I think you might be surprised.
Good.
It might not be like massive on Twitch, but I think you could be looking at, 10K, 20K viewers on Twitch, but that's kind of another thing. But Arena have really been doing a good job with this marketing, right? Cinematic trailer, contacting pretty big YouTubers, like Peons made a video, like Force Gaming was involved. Let's not
Ooh.
talk about
Yeah,
that. Yeah. Okay.
What a fucking idiot. Sorry.
Whoa!
Sorry,
What
I watched
the
my
fuck?
language.
Wait,
What an idiot. That's all I'm going to say. He's an idiot.
That was a. We're not even supposed to get close to that, are we?
No. But he's an idiot.
No.
Yeah, I have a lot of comments about just. I'll just stop. I don't think we for Teapot's sake.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to relax. Little bit of a mishap, guys. Just to explain there, bit of a mishap. There was a stream that was supposed to be for the core game, but the streamer in question decided to log on to the End of Dragons client and stream some of the story.
Well, that's not. It was. Oh my god! I have so much I could say about that.
Oh man!
But I shouldn't. I really shouldn't say it.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying he's an idiot.
Wow, toxic. I mean, sometimes you don't read the email. Okay, sometimes that happens.
Reading is hard. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
when
clearly
English
the
is your
case.
first language.
That was clearly the case.
Anyway,
Let's move on.
Let's go ahead and move on. To what we talk about? Open world. Okay. Yeah.
Turner, cut that out.
Yeah, we're editing that part out. Yeah, we're cutting that part out, guys. No problem. Okay, we're editing that out. I can't burn my bridges here, guys. I need to leech. Okay, it's my time to shine.
I apologize to Teapot.
Yeah, you better do that, Inks. Okay, you're reducing my
sorry,
leeching
Teapot.
power. Right, I made a leech.
Extra work. It's terrible.
Exactly. I've got to clean that up. I've got to edit that out now. Okay. In fact, no, I'm gonna leave it in. So everyone, so everyone
they can blame
see that.
me. That's fine. You can at me. You can at me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Cool.
The comments are they're gonna go crazy. You're gonna be in trouble. Big troublings. You're gonna be in some serious trouble right there. But anyway, I think the open world is actually a really exciting component of this. Because you know what? I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna sell out for this feature again, guys. You know, one thing that I really liked that no one is celebrating or saying, "Wow, what a cool idea." They're leaning into mob levels a lot with the expansion.
Oh.
There was a small segment on the like the reveal stream, like the End of Dragons kind of reveal stream they did a while back, and they said that veteran, elite, and champion mobs, they're going to learn new abilities as they level up. So they aren't just going to be like more HP, more damage. They're actually going to each version of a monster, right? Like a veteran version, an elite version, and then a champion version. They're all going to have new moves. Different.
I like it.
Isn't that actually sick? That's such a good idea. Like what?
Yeah.
And I've been trying to say that. Wow, what a great idea! That's really, really cool. They're adding that, and everyone.
I wonder
it.
if some of them are going to be done in such a way that some veterans are actually harder than champions because they use some of their moves that are stronger more often than if a champion gets a move that's not so strong. And he
so
has
I
to
think it's
use it
animation logged. Yeah. That's
This already happens though. The Risen, the Risen are very clearly different between the normal mobs all the way up to the elites and the champions. They have different toolkits, and they're more evolved depending on how far you go.
It's interesting because technically, I think it was pre Heart of Thorns where they brought that guy in. I forget his name now, and he redid the AI for a lot of the mobs so that they would dodge away from you and use skills to evade you and so forth.
When they made the elite characters.
Right, and that was like step 1. This is clearly like step 3 or 4 now, I think.
Oh.
And it is nice that they're actually adding like, okay, the regular guy doesn't have Flame Strike, but the elite guy does, or the veteran guy does, and the elite guy has like that skill plus.
Are we going to have to stomp them again?
No, I don't think so. I just think
that's not going back.
I just think that the mobs themselves will be more complicated when you fight them as to what skills they have available to them.
Do you think that would be good? What if the mobs did actually go down and they started reviving each other?
So the reason why they originally did it, I'm pretty sure, is not because, obviously they took it away because people kind of were annoyed of having to stomp things and it's just extra time for no reason. But I think they did it because they wanted something that's earnable in PvP to be able to come into PvE so that people might be encouraged to go into PvP to get different finishers, or at least go onto the gem store and buy finishers, untapped market kind of deal. And it's a clever idea, and I don't know,
it just made the enemies more annoying.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing, because I've been going undercover in unranked PvP. And you know what the number one thing that people don't understand even a tiny bit in very entry-level PvP, it's the downstate. People are genuinely unaware, right? There'll be a downstate body, right? There'll be like 3 of our team down, right? And there'll be a downstate body, and it's on 10% health. And the new players will flail around trying to get a kill and let that person get revived or someone else die and then rally the entire enemy team, right?
Maybe they add it to the new training area in Xingye.
I think the downstate is one of the most poorly understood mechanics in the entire game, which is actually really interesting because it's also one of the most important mechanics. And that's really weird, right? Even in PvE, by the way, I'm not even talking about PvP. Obviously, it's super important in PvP, but in PvE, it is so important, right? Like, you guys can all relate to this. You join a strike mission or a raid and people don't revive. They're like, oh yeah, don't mind me just doing my auto attack DPS rotation. There's like a downstate player there, and there are 7 DPS players just doing nothing, right? Standing there like, oh yeah, that's not my problem. I'm not doing anything about it. They will not do it. They will never revive. Right?
Yeah, it's bad for instance content for sure, but I guess in open world people do it less in big open world things because you could just waypoint and come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that like stuff like that. I mean, yeah, maybe it makes the mobs a little bit too annoying, but a more streamlined version. Maybe like the champions have downstate, or maybe some of the mobs do in some way.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, somebody in chat said they should like sprinkle it throughout, and I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, a little sprinkle.
That the champion of whatever mob has a downstate, rather than giving it to like every single creature or whatever. You know, you sort of pick. You know,
remember when they had it in that story mission?
This one can't. Yeah.
When they had it for the Shadow of the Dragon?
I have it in PvP and Stronghold.
Yeah.
Stronghold. I still love Stronghold. I don't care.
Yeah? You're a big Stronghold fan?
You remember Epi bouncing the Lord Room and winning the game in 2 minutes?
That was old Epi too. That was even better. Old Epidemic. Old Epi is so stupid.
It was designed for when there was a bleed cap of 25 stacks.
Yeah, and one bird.
And then they they patched it.
Yep.
And they didn't update it for 5 years.
Yep. Epi bouts 25 burns. No, I think that seems fine. That seems pretty balanced. Nothing wrong with that. That was pretty good. It was good. Yeah, a few things I've done. So yeah, like the Tyria mob does. They should add it to like the hero points, right? Hero point mobs should have the downside.
Yes,
like they're still in game, like the toxic, all the toxic guys.
Yeah, there's still like some legacy mobs that are around from like season 1 and stuff. Yeah, maybe we'll see some more of that. Who knows? Because it's funny, you know, I was saying that season 1 they need to do a lot of work to bring it back. I don't know if this is true actually. I didn't check because I was too lazy to do it, but someone told me that nearly all of season 1 is back in the game. And I thought, there's no way that's true. That is a lie, right? Or is that actually true somehow?
In what? In what game? In this game?
1. Yeah, Guild Wars 2. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they told me that most of it's back in the game. Most of the story instances are back. I just think that's
not
true.
The big thing that's missing is the dungeon, which is now a fractal, but it's still not complete, right?
I mean, I guess so, because you have the fractal of the Twisted Tower of the Tower of Nightmares. You got the Twisted Marionette.
It's a piece of it. It's not the full.
Yeah, but I guess you could say though that like it's in the game.
Molten Facility is 2 fractals.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Got value out of that.
Even with 2 fractals, it's not all of Molten Facility, right?
Right. It's just a tiny piece.
Oh.
Most of Molten Facility. Well,
you could still go into the Bram instance of his.
I'm not sure that I'm not sure that the missing pieces of Molten Facility are necessarily worth their time, but
and Aetherblade, the Aetherblade retreat. You can still break out and go through the whole maps too, and they're all there. They just don't have stuff hooked up to them.
I think
are beautiful.
I think saying that's kind of disingenuous because it's like so fragmented that it's not a coherent story at all now. It's like, yeah, it's there, kind of, some of it, most of it, but
yeah, it's probably maybe 30% of the dungeon is there in all of the cases. Maybe like 30%.
You have to remember too, like a lot of season 1, and players who obviously didn't get to play it don't realize this, but a lot of it was just. I don't want to be mean, but a lot of it was like building signs and checking
Not
radio
a lot of it was building
towers
signs.
and like stuff like that, right? Like you would get a 2-week update and you would be kind of done with it in about an hour or so. And it was just a little story beat. It wasn't like a whole big thing. Like every once in a while, we got a big update. Yeah, it did. But I mean, like a lot of that stuff would be missing. But is that relevant? I mean, no, not really.
Yeah.
You don't need to add signs back in or the radio towers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like an in-game? I know there's like a small cinematic to kind of explain.
Cutscene. Yeah, the recap.
Yeah. Is that do you think that's enough?
No.
Battle
of Lion's Arch is the most. That's my most. Well, it's my favorite memory from Guild Wars 2.
Yeah,
because we were hard into the watch knights with their big high heel boots stomping all over the players in Lion's Arch, and I was streaming.
It was a good event.
My computer kept crashing, and then my AMD FX 8150, aka the worst CPU of all time, died, and I made enough money from YouTube that month that I could buy an 8350 and replace it. And I could go back to having the Watchwork Knight step on me, and it was great. It's a really strong and fond memory that I have.
Is that the artwork you had done? The Watch Knight stepping on you?
No.
That would have been a good idea.
I'm not in the artwork.
Wait, am I in the artwork? Oh God. Uh-oh. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's stay on topic. Okay, let's try and make this a functional tea time, right? You know,
impossible.
What do you mean? What do you mean impossible?
Possible. I always derail us.
That's true. Good. Thank you for taking the fall. It's your fault. Yeah. It's not my fault. It's your fault. And I like that. Yeah. I enjoy that.
All right. So maps.
Oh, Inks.
The maps.
Lead us, Inks.
How many are going to be HOT like, do you think?
What do you mean?
With like a big meta event that sort of runs the map?
I have a feeling
or a portion of the map, maybe?
I don't think
all of them are going to have a event. No?
No. What he means is he means like very, very meta-oriented, right?
Oh, so like Dragon Fall. I mean, Dragon...
yeah.
Like Octovine.
Yeah, like Octovine or Chat Garen or honestly any of the HT maps. Like obviously Dragon Stand is the most extreme example of this. But all the others are very meta-oriented, whereas Path of Fire, they're not that meta-oriented. The only one that you could say is meta-oriented would be Serpent's Eye, maybe. And even that, not really. Yeah. Even that, not that much.
Because what was interesting to me was leaving HOT going into Path of Fire, people were like, I guess a loud minority or a loud portion of the fan base at the time was like, we don't want another expansion where every map is like Octovine or Garant or whatever. And then Path of Fire came out. It was like the exact opposite of HOT and not a median, which it should have been. Or probably should have been.
I think they're probably going to try to find a happy middle here, but I do hope for, this is just a hope, I do hope that there is a map that they haven't discussed yet that is a Dragon Stand type map.
Oh yeah,
delicious.
Yeah. I hope so as well. I think they would be foolish not to, because it's going to be a pretty the end of the story. For End of Dragons.
Something monumental.
It's going to be pretty big because they like, well, obviously we can speculate a little bit, but it seems like where they're looking to basically wrap up this arc. That's the way it's titled anyway, right? Like the Dragon arc is probably going to get wrapped up, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it's got to be something big. They've got to drop a big bomb.
Yeah. And Dragon Stand is the most monumental thing I feel in
it's
the game.
Best map. I love Dragon Stand for so many reasons.
Yeah,
it's such a good map.
Yeah.
I still like to just go back and do it sometimes for fun. Mm-hmm. I don't need anything from it.
Yeah,
I just
Yeah.
enjoy the map.
Definitely,
You
that
remember
final fight's the most cinematic
It's
thing in the
epic.
game for sure.
It's just
leadership runes on
the
launch?
oh yeah, I remember
That was-
Boots complaining about this actually. You know, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
My
crystalline
God,
ore?
I got
Yep.
leadership
Yep.
rooms before they were easy to get, and
Before they-
it
Yep.
took me like a month of grinding to get one set of leadership runes to make a fire to make a flamethrower NG build, and then I want to say 2 weeks later, it was easy to get afterwards. Like
Yep.
people were able to get it.
It may
Yeah,
have
they
been a
nerfed it.
month, but it was
They buffed
was
it
real
really
fast.
hard. I think they like tripled the amount you could get. Right, it went up. It was insane how much they buffed it by. With crystalline ore, it was insane.
Well, I think they increased the amount that you get, and I think they also decreased the price of the runes too. But I may be wrong.
And now you can just buy them with proofs of heroic. So
Yeah. I unfortunately, like Boots, I got them when you couldn't do that so easily. So mine are still in the bank because I never really needed them. I didn't play a character that needed them, but I went out of my way to get them in case I did need them, and I refuse to ever get rid of them. They're in the bank.
I got legendary runes now too. So
Oh, excuse me.
It's like Celestial Ascended armor. It takes a month to farm it if you do it the hard way.
mm-hmm.
It's good content. It is good content. But no, I'm really. I think you're right. Like, without being too boring, I think they will try and strike a happy medium. I think people found HOT too much, and I also think that's fair, right? I think it's good to have a really exploration focused experience, particularly when we're going back to an area that's going to be very. People want to go there, right? They want to go to Cantha. They want to go back there. Everyone's feeling nostalgic, right? Okay, we want to get in there and check it out. So I think they'll definitely have a lot of exploration. I mean, I'm expecting the maps to be pretty big, right? Pretty massive and expansive, that a lot of things to move out and explore. But I am also expecting to see some pretty hard-hitting meta events in there as well that are going to be pretty engaging, take a good amount of time. Like, they aren't going to be like a 5-minute affair. It's going to be a bit of meat, right? And I really do hope they finish it on a massive bang with a huge, again, like the ideal thing would be that dragon stand type thing. I mean, like, I've wanted something like that to come back to the game for a long time. I honestly can't wait. I really hope they have done that. Of course, we have seen. Wait, have we seen all the maps, or is there like one secret one that we don't know about?
I don't know.
There's-
If it's a secret, it's a secret.
There's
how many-
gotta be ones that they haven't
How many
showed
maps
us.
have we seen? We've seen Xingje,
Kaineng.
Kaineng, Ekavald, and the Jade Sea, right?
Yeah. Or was it Jade Quarry?
I think it was just Jade Sea, right?
Okay.
And Arborstone, yeah, Arborstone, but that's like not not exactly a map, right? I mean that's a meme.
Gameplay stream.
Yeah, they did say this. There was one really interesting thing, actually, that they said. This is what Grimm's pointing out here. One of the maps is a little bit different to the others. And they gave us a few little teasers about it. One that I think access to it is I think linked to the story, because apparently it's like shifted in time. So it's like ahead of the other maps in terms of the timeline.
Yeah.
And I think you're also locked off, so you can't get there all the time as well. So one of the maps is not like the others, because it's such a massive spoiler because of the way that it fits into the story, that it's very different. So that could be very. It almost seems like they're trying to. Yeah, exactly. A bit like because if you say, "Oh yeah, Dragon Stand," I wonder what happens in that map. Oh no, what could it be? Right. So yeah, they didn't give us the full details on how that's going to operate. So there's definitely a lot more there. So that could be that big, hard-hitting end to the storyline involved somewhere, something like that. Exactly. One of these maps is not like the others. It's crazy. So there is that. It's a little bit of a hidden surprise, but everything else we've kind of seen, and they even showed us like the meta event boss from New Kaineng, right? It's like a giant jade dog. So
what?
Yeah.
New
But
Kaineng?
did you not see that?
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. They when they did the New Kaineng City tour, they showed a giant boss.
Oh, I missed a lot of that.
Yeah, you're not paying attention, Boots.
I'm not paying enough attention. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, you know me. I'm a specialization balance kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to be coming? What kind of runes do you think we could expect with the new specializations?
Something with alacrity. There will be an alacrity rune.
Really?
Yeah. That to me is the one guarantee. There's going to be an alacrity rune.
Which one do you think it'll be?
It will be. I think I'm going to say it's going to be Spectre.
But it already has alacrity built in, Spectre.
Yeah, but it's going to be like a duration rune that gives alacrity duration.
And then, like, every time you get alacrity, you heal yourself.
Oh, yeah? Rune of Tormenting? I don't think we need any more of those. We don't need that. Okay? But yeah. I mean, think about it. It could be Willbender rune. It could be Spectre or Mechanist. Because those are the...
Oh, yeah, okay, let's talk about Willbender rune. If Willbender comes out and it's still... They haven't changed the balance of it and it's still a little bit underpowered... what rune would bring it back into place with the rest of the elite specs?
I think they should just lean into its playstyle. There should be a rune that you take, and when you go in the down state, you explode and do damage.
Like
there is already that.
Last Stand Call of Duty.
Yeah,
that's Rune of the Afflicted. We have that already.
Yeah, but it needs to be power damage because you're a power build. So yeah, you know, you're in PvP and you use all of your mobility to get to the enemy team. You feed instantly. And then explode.
I like it.
That's how you make it good. And I think you could do. I think a rune like this will be insanely scary, actually, just to ever have something like this. But like something that would activate every time you use a movement skill.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like a small heal. Every time you use a movement skill or something like that.
There's traits that have that, right?
Yeah, there are traits like that, but a rune is scarier because everyone can use it, right?
What about a small shield?
Or a small barrier?
Small barrier. Aegis every time you get a movement skill? Or...
Small barrier instead of healing.
I think the problem with an effect like that is I feel like it almost has to be really bad, because if it was good, it would just be so oppressive on certain builds.
Well, what they would do is they would put a 15-second internal cooldown on it, and then wash their hands.
But that's kind of what I mean, right? Then it's pretty weak.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the more interesting you make a rune, the harder it is to balance, right?
Runes are my favorite thing in the game, and only the runes that have no internal cooldown.
Yeah, you're a big fan of no internal cooldown runes.
I love you know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Well, I mean,
I was personally hurt when they nerfed Mad King runes. I was personally hurt when they nerfed Soul Cleave Summit. No internal cooldowns. That's the way to go.
It's because stuff like that are the things that you can push to the limit the most, and they're the most interesting to try and theorycraft. Like internal cooldowns limit you on what you can do, and if you don't have them, you can just do some crazy stuff.
If there aren't at least 2 runes in the expansion that have no internal, if there aren't at least 2 runes in the expansion that have no internal cooldown, I will take that as a personal affront. I could understand them giving two runes that have internal cooldown and then taking it away eventually after I've abused them. Fine. But I need those runes.
Could you imagine a rune that gives you something like plus 50% damage when you use an elite skill, but after 5 seconds it full heals the enemy that you're attacking?
Yeah, I like it.
Wouldn't that be so fucking cool in PvP?
Well, think of the griefing you could do in PvE with that, though. You could like wait until the world boss is at 10% health and just like full heal it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're never going to add anything that allows you to grief your own team. Is there anything like that in the game right now? Is there a way to grief players?
Superior rune of the Goon Squad.
I guess you can grief with Portal, right? Because speaking of Goon Squad,
yeah.
You could also grief with, at least in Conquest, you could grief with giving your allies invisible stealth, because they can't capture points at that point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We've got to be a little careful. Grouch is in the chat, so we can't be giving too much advice on how to grief people in the game. We need to be a little careful there. Oh, the Bulwark Gyro bug is so funny, actually. Holy shit.
What is that?
I think they fixed it, maybe. But basically, there's a weird thing. If you go into like Elixir S with Bulwark Gyro, and then you still have the Bulwark Gyro up, instead of reducing damage to your allies, it massively increases the damage they take by saying like 10. Right? 10 times, right? So in other words, if there's a scrapper in your group and they go Elixir S with Bulwark Gyro, you will instantly die.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm not sure if they fixed it or not, actually. Maybe they did. But yeah, there are some hilarious videos of like full minstrel spell breakers just getting destroyed, like instantly dying, right, in World versus World because the Scrapper Bulwark gyros them.
It can't be as bad as dodge rolling off a fence with Mace Guardian and having permanent invincibility. Can't be
when
that
was
bad.
that?
For the first 4 years of the game.
Really?
In PvP. Yeah, that was like if someone showed you doing that exploit, that was a ban on site. You manually got added to the ban list.
That's fair. That's fair.
You do that.
Is the permanent 25 stacks of might for Mechanist still around? Do you think when the game comes out?
They patched that. Yeah, they patched that.
Oh, okay, all right, good,
yeah,
good.
They got another one though. Honestly, they're gonna have to end up removing this rune at some point, like in PvP. Well, I guess you could do it in PvE as well,
Sanctuary
right?
rune?
Sanctuary rune, yeah. You could give yourself literally infinite alacrity because you get, what was it? Whenever you would apply barrier, you would gain alacrity, right? Then whenever you would apply a boon, you would heal yourself because of alchemy, and then then you get more barrier from that sanctuary.
But you know they're not going to remove the rune. Well, they might remove the rune in PvP, but they're not going to remove the rune. They're just going to put an internal cooldown on it, and then they're gonna pump up the heal. The barrier a little bit. They're gonna go 100% barrier on heal, and then put a 5-second internal cooldown.
It's kind of sad though, isn't it? Right? It is.
It's
kind of it kind of sucks when you get to that point because it makes the ability just so much less interesting. You know, it's such a cool effect that you gain.
I know.
All of your
my auto attack Earth Shield build is dependent on it. And, although if they put a 5-second internal cooldown, it's not so bad because
barrier lasts 5 seconds. So you still have permanent barrier. Yeah, it's big. Auto attack Earth Shield build. Boots innovating the meta as usual.
Which nobody will ever use.
Yep.
Grimjack used it once. Used it once. I know that.
Maybe they should use that build though. For the new strikes. What if you need to invul mechanics? Then boom, Earth Shield is like absolutely in play there. That's gonna be huge. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think I'm
a top DPS.
Yeah. I'd really like to see them spice up runes and sigils a bit. I feel like because you know what's funny? Actually, big thing. I want to give a big shout out to ArenaNet on this because I actually really like what they've done here with Ritualist gear and Dragon gear. Ritualist in particular, they're trying to actually make it so that not every single build in the game is going to be running Viper or Berserker, right? For the first time in history, I think I can unironically say that the Berserker meta is a lie, right? It actually is a lie this time. And I really like what they're doing, and I hope they try and do that with runes, because we've been running like the same runes for how long? Forever, right? Nightmare rune, Scholar rune, Force sigil, Bursting sigil. Boring, okay? Let's get some variety. So I really hope they spice things up a bit and try and introduce new runes. And yeah, I want to give them a lot of praise for what they've done with Ritualist gear, because it turns out that is Ritualist gear going to necessarily be higher DPS than Viper? Well, not necessarily. It will be like fairly similar. Like it's a DPS increase on some builds, which is probably a little overpowered, not gonna lie. But you're actually going to start seeing players running not just the same 2 gear types everywhere. They're trying to make it so that there are other gear types that you're going to use. Like Ritualist is going to be very common for condition damage support builds that apply boons. Dragon type gear is going to be creeping in on builds that have precision from their traits and stuff like that. Very, very cool, actually. Dragon Hunter runs a bunch of dragon stats now, for example. And other builds probably can as well. Like Hollowsmith might be able to get a few bits in there too. But yeah, I know, I really like it. So if you're going to do like a full DPS build, yeah, you're going to run Zerker or Viper. But now if you're a support build, you might actually use a different gear type. And even if it's not strictly optimal, you'll probably do it anyway, because you're going to be like an extra 10,000 health up, which is an insane advantage, right? Like absolutely wild.
Is Dragons, okay, so Dragons is not full, but like it's like Marauders power but the same amount of ferocity, right? So that would be the highest amount of ferocity that any rune gives you, right?
Yes, it's mega ferocity.
So a lot of classes that have alternate ways of getting precision would love this. Do you think it would be more damage if someone can give yourself 100% crit chance with alternate ways of getting precision? Is that, do you think, more damage than Berserker?
Yeah,
Because you have
it's
less
been-
power, but
it's been calculated out because it's a 4-stat. You get more stats overall. So yeah, you generate a small DPS increase from it. For example, Dragon Hunter, gets more DPS with Dragon stats. But yeah, it's only going to be good, obviously, if you get the precision elsewhere. If you need to do some weird stuff like an accuracy sigil, it may not end up necessarily being worth it.
Right.
But if you just say, oh yeah, I have my precision, I don't need precision, I'm overcapped on crit, taking some of that precision and putting it into ferocity is good.
Great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. It's very cool, actually. I like the fact that in some ways, it's going to be a bit like not super great for some players because they're going to have to potentially maintain more than one gear set. They won't be able to reuse it over different characters. But on the other hand, you'll still be able to use Berserker. It will just be slightly different, right? I think people maybe get a little bit too obsessed, about like running the perfect build. That when Mesmer was getting changed a lot, like Chronomancer and PvE, like had a new build every few months. I remember people freaking out about this, but realistically, it made almost no difference if you were updating your build or not. People just thought it did for some reason. They were just panicking, like, but honestly, like if your build's off by like 5%, who cares? Right, I used to play on an engineer in full exotic gear, and I'd just be top DPS every single time, right? Even though my build was exotic and I was, playing with people who were, in full ascended, it didn't make any difference, right?
It'd be good for a chill power renegade build.
Well,
yeah.
There's a big spoiler about builds. Should I just spoil this? Because I don't think anyone's ever made this point before, if I'm completely honest.
Do it.
The best build that you can play is the one that gives you the biggest value for DPS uptime and helps you do the mechanics.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever said that before.
I think that's the first time I've heard that, for sure.
That's big.
That's not to say that, believe me, I did raids the other day, and we had a flamethrower auto attack scrapper that did as much DPS as the druid, and they joined saying that they were a DPS class.
Look, they were trying, okay?
They were trying.
They were blasting.
I have an important question.
Yep.
What was the food back in the day that everybody had to run because when you moved, you got damage bonus?
Seaweed salad.
Seaweed
salad. Do you think they'll come out with a rune that has the
fun?
same effect as seaweed salad?
No.
While you move, you get... No, please don't.
Instead of Scholar rune. Because Scholar is a conditional plus percentage damage. If they had a similar rune, maybe not more, but similar in a different condition.
Did you like seaweed salad boots?
Seaweed salad's delicious.
I meant in the game. Like, you like wiggling? You like doing the...
Not really. I mean, I guess
gotta
also...
jiggle around the boss?
I guess it's also pretty bad for certain bounties and stuff.
Well, I think with the way that they're designing strike missions, I think they're trying to offload a lot of gameplay to the actual mechanics of the encounter, rather than playing your class. This has been a trend that I've been observing a lot with ArenaNet. They're trying to make the game easier to play in terms of playing your class, and they're going to make the game difficult by what you actually do within the game. If you look at something like Harbinger, right? How do you apply quickness? Well, you literally AFK in Shroud and it just pulses out. Like it is as brain dead as it could possibly be to apply boons on that build, right? It's actually more brain dead than Firebrand and Chronomancer right now, which is pretty impressive. And you see that with a lot of the way the builds are, right? Like a lot of the way builds play out in Ender Dragons and in the game currently right now are using abilities off cooldown. And that's not me just being toxic, guys. Don't worry. I like the game. It's a good game. But that is the reality, right? The way a lot of just basic mechanics, basic gameplay is, it's use everything off cooldown. There's zero thought or skill that goes into that. And I think the way they're going to challenge players is going to be with the actual encounters themselves, not with game mechanics. Which
that's fair. Although to be fair, I like that idea, that concept. But in chat, someone just said they're a jump addict. Okay. Someone just said they're a jump addict. And no, I don't want them to tone down all classes, obviously, but I do like the idea of challenging people with mechanics. Someone just said they're a jump addict, and What about a rune that gives you a bonus, like a 7 or 10% bonus to damage for 2 seconds after you jump?
After you jump, every time you jump. Yeah,
Every
sounds
time
good.
you jump. Yeah.
Who? Any jump enjoyers in chat? You want to jump every?
That would be. Can you imagine like an entire strike group just jumping off cooldown to proc that rune? Like every 10 seconds you get a DPS increase by jumping. You just have
Thumper rune. Oh my god! Unleashed rune is the bunny thumper rune. Yeah. You have to jump to gain your damage.
I mean, that's sort of like a universal way to greet each other, like in World vs. World and stuff in the open world, right? You just jump in front of each other.
Yeah. I'm in.
A rune that insta-stomps a down state. That would be good for PvP. Every minute, whenever you down something, it instantly stops them.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
That'd be good.
Just auto stomp. I mean, that would help people learn the down state.
Superior rune of Bronze 3.
Does it stomp you, though? Is that like the downside? If you go down state, you get stomped as well by your own rune?
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, it's a good trade-off. Trade-offs.
It wouldn't be bad because you'd respawn quicker, if you think about it.
You would, actually. Yeah, people couldn't let you bleed out all over the map.
Yeah,
that would just be the meta rune for Platinum. Everyone would use that in Platinum. There would be no other option.
So you can respawn quicker to feed back into the fight again.
Yeah.
You can get the games over quicker by inting as hard as possible. I like that.
You remember the good old parrot runes there, Boots?
Yeah.
Summon a parrot.
Runes? People
I want to summon a monkey that throws a rock that dazes the opponent.
Okay.
That's very specific.
Well, I just want a monkey pet in general, but
I mean, a rune that dazes the opponent is pretty good.
Do you want that for the ranger that you want to? They're adding you want pet monkey?
Give me a monkey. I mean, I don't think there's any monkeys in Cantha.
And when you say a rock, do you mean a rock?
Wait, what?
Well, I mean, the rock is the appropriate throwing instrument.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there? Where were the apes in Guild Wars 1? Oh, I think it was Eye of the North had monkeys, right?
Orion apes.
Well, yeah, there are undead gorillas in Cantha.
Yeah, there are risen gorillas. That's true, but
the
no
simians.
live ones.
Yeah. Were there any in Nightfall, or was it just in Eye of the North? You're not sure.
Were they in Eye of the North?
Yeah, they were in. Yeah, they were in. I know they were in Eye of the North.
Okay.
Were they in any other expansion?
Mice says Tarnished Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to monkey
missing out. It's like horses, right? Where have the monkeys gone?
Right.
Okay, we don't have horses. Honest. Yeah.
I barely remember Eye of the North, other than just being zoomed in on. What was her name? Fuck. Jorah. Yeah, I was just zoomed in on Jorah the entire time, auto following. That's all I did in Eye of the North.
I can get behind that too. A knockdown effect. Throws a banana peel.
It throws a trap down and someone slips over on it.
Exactly. Yep.
That would be the Soul Beast move. You merge with the monkey and you can throw a trap down. The banana trap.
Sounds good. I'm in.
That might be a little bit too comical, a little too slapstick for Guild Wars. This is a very serious video gaming.
You're probably right.
Yeah, throw feces. That's true. Yeah, that does happen a lot. Yeah.
Well, that's why I said a rock to daze, because feces ain't making it into the game.
True.
Well, wait, is there any feces in the game? This is getting a little weird now. It's probably time.
No, you're really going off the.
We have reached that point in TeaTime.
This isn't good.
I know that there is quite a few instances of projectile vomiting in the game.
Yeah, you're just giving Sebastian ideas at this point. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he also says that it's Icebrood Saga. Nice. Yeah. All right, yeah, the last TeaTime before a new era of Guild Wars 2, and we're talking about feces. That's.
Yeah. I just wanted a monkey pet. Look, I didn't go to the feces route. I said a rock.
We're giving Boots the proper welcome. All right, back to the show, back to the community. This is something that I really like about TeaTime. Is that once you're on TeaTime, you're kind of trapped, right? There's no escape. There's having a snap.
You can try.
Yeah.
You can try to escape, but you can't.
One might even say Hardstuck.
Nice. Yeah, true. I felt like this happened with Inks a little bit when he was first here, but it definitely happened with Sneb. You know, like Sneb he was sucked into the web, and like this community like infested his community now. And now he can't get away, right? He's stuck, right? The Sneb is toxic memes, the Zach memes.
I feel like your community has forgotten me though. Like I don't think out of the 800 people viewing right now, I don't think 600 of those people know that I was TeaTime, one of the 4 TeaTime guys for like the first 2 years. I don't think 600 of those people know that.
And you wore a tuxedo on the very first
And I wore a tuxedo on the very first episode. That's right.
And I had a fine glass of wine as well, I believe. It was port.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Nobody else brought tea.
That may well be the case. Okay, that's possible. I think if you appeared again and lurked around the stream, if you streamed yourself a lot, then I think people will be all over it. Okay, because that thing is like a lot of the people here, they watch streams, right? You know, they don't look at YouTube, they don't look at Twitter, right? They don't do that. Yeah. It's only live streams. They want to see things. They want to see crumbles. They want to see memes, and this is the meme zone. Twitch is the meme zone, so you got to be live. You can do it on YouTube too, I guess. If you want to keep your reputation boost, that's what you got to do.
YouTube has literally just turned into posting Twitch streams now.
That's true.
You just post a Twitch stream that's cut up.
Yeah, that's actually the YouTube meta, right? Because instead of actually putting effort into content, it turns out that you can get just as many views, if not more, because you can make it way easier by editing your live stream into a YouTube video. If you think about it, it's crazy innovation, right? Because it means you get money from your Twitch stream, and then you get more money in clout from the YouTube video that is your Twitch stream. It's genius. And then you layer on top of that, you just watch someone else's content and then upload that as well. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I'm going to help out an individual here in chat. Somebody who is a little bit creative.
Okay.
Now, this market is extremely niche. You're never going to really blow up. But you also don't have to make a whole lot of your own content. What you do is you watch the different streams and just steal their clips and put it in the Guild Wars 2 streamer of the week, and you just run that video. There you go. Boom, easy. You're now a content creator.
Do you know a bot does that? I was recently made aware of this. There's this bot on YouTube. It's called, I'm not going to say the name of it actually because it's pretty shitty. And what it does is, it does it in loads of games, but it does it in Guild Wars 2, is that it like takes the top viewed clips. It's scripted, right? And it edits them together and uploads them. It's an AI because sometimes it uploads like the most random clips where nothing happens, but it just like edits them all together, right? And it uploads them, and they just reap that sweet ad revenue.
See, now whoever takes this idea and actually does it, you need to do that. Find one irrelevant random clip where nothing happens and put it right in the middle of the video.
Boom.
Easy content.
Easiest content in the entire universe. You know what though? Guild Wars 2. A little bit of a trademark TeaTime segue there, tangent, if you will. But now it's time to go back to Guild Wars 2.
Okay, should we predict what happens in the story?
That's what. Well, no, maybe not in the story, but okay. You know what? Yeah, let's do the story. We will do that actually. I was gonna. We'll do what I was gonna do next. But yeah, what do you guys think is gonna happen in the story?
I think Aurene is going to die and all of the rest of the dragons are going to die. And I think Dragon's Watch is going to come out completely unscathed, but I think people are going to go their own direction. I think Bram is going to go off to live in the snow in the mountains and be lonely by himself because he's finally grown up for the 5th time. I think Taimi is going to stay in Cantha so she can fully become a robot after having all of her limbs replaced. I think Kaith is going to disappear without any explanation at all. Kaith just won't be there anymore. Who else do we have? Ritlock will be around and he's always going to be a part. He's going to be hanging out so you can go back and get a recap. He'll have a story recap. You can go to Arborstone and you can talk to him and he'll give you a recap of everything that happened. Canuck. Ooh, what if Canuck goes back with Countess Anise? Is Countess Anise still around?
She's around.
What if he just wants to get that ass and he just goes after Countess Anise? That could happen. That could happen.
I mean, he is super rich now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's gonna happen. We know it's gonna happen.
Are there
a
any
gamer.
other characters? I don't know if there are any other characters.
Those are all the ones you know.
Marjorie and
Yeah.
Oh,
Casimir.
Marjorie and Casimir.
Yeah.
I think this has the potential to be a good one, because I think what will happen with Marjorie and Casimir is they've grown apart, right? They're not as close. They're not kissing each other in the Breachmaker anymore. And they're going to get reunited, and they're going to have this big moment together, and then they're going to say, you know what, we had a good time. We had a fun relationship, but it's better if we go our own ways. And they're both going to get a little emotional. It's going to be emotional for the players. Casimir goes back to Kryta, and then Marjorie stays in Cantha.
Ooh.
I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting theory, actually. I could see that.
I think I've got everything right except for Canuck. I honestly don't know what happens with Canuck. Yeah. But I think I'm right about all of the other ones.
Well, we'll see very soon, right? We'll see tomorrow. If you're right. I think the one thing that I think is almost guaranteed to happen is they're going to wrap up this entire arc and try and de-escalate the story a little bit, right? They'll probably try and reset the story. So how that's going to happen, I don't know. But they'll probably try and make it so that the next part of the story is of a much smaller scale and maybe introduces new characters and kind of gets rid of a lot of characters. Because my massive criticism of Guild Wars 2's story is that we've had the same characters in the story since like season 1, right? Or like season 2, right? This means that if you're a new player and you start playing the game, you're like, what the fuck? Right? You know, you start playing it, you have no idea who anyone is. You have no idea of the context of anything that's happened. So you have to play the entire story linearly to have any idea what the hell's going on. I think that's a big problem. Well, maybe ArenaNet don't view it as a like, oh wow, we've got this epic story that takes like 50 hours to play through Porg, right? But I think that is a problem. So I think we're going to see things really get stripped down and scaled down a lot. And introduce some new characters, some slightly smaller stories, to be honest. Well, I'm kind of saying what I want to happen, I guess, because I'm a little bit tired of just, oh, it's the dragons and we're the pack commander, and oh wow, look at all our gang of friends. Wow, we're such a great guild, guys.
Yeah, I think that's a criticism that a lot of people have. I know Kroof talks about it pretty often, that they want something in the new story going forward to be sort of more of a fish out of water, be cut off from the rest of the pack, be cut off from everything, be somewhere where you've never been before and have to deal. And I think that could accomplish that pretty well. I know the problem is to tone down stuff. It's kind of hard to like make the player base care about a new storyline if you, number one, take away all the people you've seen before. Number two, go from like killing world-ending dragons to something much, much smaller. So like it'd have to be a very interesting story to be able to get the player base to care about that kind of a tone down. But I see what you're saying though, because they kind of have jumped this shark in a lot of ways.
Everything is world-ending.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have every day I'm on a podcast for the last 7 years have said, after Cantha, we go to space. But I don't know if that's considered toning things down. I don't know if that's considered space / the mists. All right, we're just going to.
You a fan of Friday the 13th?
Yes, he is.
The movie?
Where it's just Jason over and over in different scenarios until he goes to space and then hell.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, here's what's going to happen.
Okay, Timey, laying it down.
All right, here's what happens.
Yep.
So this has been foreshadowed for a long time. Goric is going to put Timey into a Blish body.
True.
And they end up being research partners / lovers for the end of the
Golem
X
Azura. That's going to make some interesting artwork.
That's right. And Casimir and Marjorie, they're going to marry them. It's a fan favorite. The fans want it.
It's about time.
They'll marry them off.
But
And
what
then
if they don't
they'll-
really like? What if they don't really believe in marriage though? Like, what if part
Well,
of the character is...
maybe it's not a direct marriage, but they stay together and they cohabitate. Canuck, I think he
Whatever you wanna
becomes like I think he becomes a reformed Aether pirate with his own crew.
Oh,
He's got the money. He's going to
Okay.
have his own airship probably. He goes off and he's bees his own pirate.
I like that. I like that. a lot.
Logan's not even in the story, but he'll appear at the end to wave at you. Zoja's still in a coma. She'll still be there at the end of this. That's not going to change. What else? Who else do we have? Who am I missing? Ritlock. He'll actually be the staple that carries over into the next story.
Bram? Did you know Bram?
Oh, Bram. Really hard to say with Bram. People want him dead. He's not going to die. I don't know what they do with Bram. Probably goes back to his mother's homestead and becomes a hobo. I don't know. I don't really have a good story for Bram, to be honest. I think his story is kind of told, and they're just going to retire him.
Is he going to just become the leader of the Norn?
No, because Newt
I
is the
hope
leader of the
not.
Norn, right?
Who
Did I miss a piece of
dies?
lore where Newt's
No.
where Newt's dead?
So someone's got to die. Who's going to die?
Aurene dies, and that's
yeah.
the only one.
I think
Does
Aurene
Aurene
dies.
die?
Well, here's the thing.
Because-
Timey sort of dies, but doesn't. Right?
Yep.
They'll play up on that.
No.
And Aurene and the other dragons, I think, consolidate into some sort of natural magic filter, so that Tyria doesn't have to worry about the dangerous exploding magic.
So
and the planet
I've
blowing
always
up.
thought that was going to be... So the new cycles were born. I've always thought that was going to be the pale tree taking care of that. I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's gonna
but they've positioned Aurene as this filter, right?
right.
She's the great filter, and I think that she'll die, but not
great
really
filter.
die. She'll be ascended.
Can you
What?
say that?
What, the great filter?
I don't know if you can say that.
No, that one's fine. That's just like the
Oh,
idea
okay,
that we're
that's
going to
the-
blow ourselves up or something.
Oh,
No, I'm,
yeah,
not,
hit by
I'm,
a
not,
meteor.
I'm not memeing here. She filters dirty magic into clean magic.
Ooh.
And that's part of what was feeding the elder dragons, and then they would get full and they would get empty and they would wake up and consume everything and then go back to sleep, right? But you don't need that system anymore if there's a filter to regulate the magic. And that way Tyria doesn't blow up by not having any elder dragons.
How about this? We connect that theory with going to space. Aurene...
You in space. We're not going into space.
We're going to space, man. Aurene takes... we deal with the deep sea dragon. Aurene takes all that magic, but she can't contain it. She just can't contain all that magic. So she's about to explode, but instead she flies off into the mist, into space to protect Tyria.
So
from
like the
all that
Iron
magic.
Giant. Covered Iron Giant meme.
Like the Iron Giant, exactly.
Mm,
And that's why and we go off to go find her and the human gods for funsies.
In space.
In space / the mists.
Aren't we just ripping off
So-
World of Warcraft at that point, though? I feel like that's WoW. We've turned
that
into
WoW?
WoW at that point. Yeah. When Blizzard ran out of ideas, they were like, what if we went to space? What if the Draenei actually have spaceships?
Mm.
That,
Well,
they
I'm
did
saying
that. They
space
did that
/ the
shit.
mist because I want to say that they're kind of synonymous. The mist is kind of like where like the gods just kind of went off into the mist somewhere, and I want that to be kind of what you do. It's kind of like it's more like Magic the Gathering than WoW. It's planeswalkers. We all become planeswalkers.
Oh, I forgot about Kaith. I don't know what happens to Kaith. Nothing. She wanders off.
Yeah, I agree with that.
She
100%.
loses herself because Aurene goes away. Then she's not a Bloom Knight or whatever the heck she is anymore, and she
Blue
wanders.
Knight.
She wanders excessively through different places in Tyria. Maybe you run into her once in a while.
What if we have to kill Aurene?
I'd be down with that.
The
I
thing
would
is-
actually really like that.
You know,
those trailers.
I think she sacrifices herself, though.
ArenaNet, they have the kid gloves on with the story. Change my mind. It is like a soap opera. It is so happy-go-lucky. I want to kill Aurene as part of
Wow.
the story.
Wow. I
Okay,
mean, it's possible because
let's get some fucking edgy shit going. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Well, this is exactly the criticism that I had with
Yeah.
the last instance of Icebrood Saga, where I've seen it happen, where Jormag and Primordius kill each other. You look like you want to say something. What is it? Teapot.
Oh no, I don't.
No? Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm just listening. My mind is absorbing your words.
Well, you have corrupted Ryland fighting corrupted Bram, right? And Bram comes out of it completely unscathed, and he basically just says,
Oh.
"Whoa, what happened?" Ooga booga, stupid Norn, what happened? They should have had Bram come out of it where he snaps out of the magic, but like half of his body or his arm is corrupted and useless, and he has no feeling in it. And it's this permanent reminder of what he did and the extremes that he was willing to go to. And it's Primordus instead of Jormag, and he's shamed by the Norn because Jormag was the only one that was part of the story, and he went to something like that should have happened.
Did you say that all the spirits that sacrificed themselves there also were okay?
He also, I think he like killed them. He really fucked up there, like big time.
No, they went in to try to like protect him, right? When he's in there.
Yes,
I think so. But here's the thing: that they have the ability
they're fine,
to write
apparently. They're
good
fine.
and dark stories. So, they can write good because we look at the raids 1 through 4. It's really dark and it's really edgy and it's really well written because there's in the prison you literally have Cairn's platform sitting on top of a guy's head hovering, and he was slowly smushed beneath it. That's some really fucked up stuff. They could have done that easily. They could have made the story a little dark and have some edge to it in a good way, but they just don't, because I think the direction is we want it to be happy, joy, and it's
although to be fair, in the live streams for this End of Dragons, they did say they want it to be darker. They did say they want like more of a
they will never
H.P. Lovecraft kind of.
They will never write.
Or no, that was for
dark enough to satisfy what I want to happen.
What do you want to happen?
I want total devastation. Every character dead. Nobody's alive at the end except for the player character.
Except for the player.
Never going to happen, but that's what should happen.
No, halfway through End of Dragons, they kill your character and force you to reroll.
Oh,
that happens in POF. You die.
Yep.
No, I know, but they didn't force you to reroll. They have to go all the way.
They've already killed us before. That's not going to happen again.
For a bit of a serious point, I think what we're getting at here overall, right, is that there are no consequences to the story a lot of the time. Like, nothing actually happens in a way. Or, you know, it's like you defeat this world-ending foe, but nothing has changed, right? I feel like the characters don't change. Yeah, but you know what? Do you know what's funny, though? Yeah, Blish dying was one of those really memorable moments in the story exactly because of that, because there was actually some weight to it. And this is a character that
talks about him.
And they went hard on this. Nobody ever talks about him because I don't think we really had him around for long enough. But guys, like, Blish is in hell. Okay, like I think it's the player character. You don't even hear about this again, right? Okay, look, this is the concept of Blish, guys. Like when they foreshadow this a little bit, right? When he's like in a crate in the docks or whatever. And it was like, yeah,
love it.
When my power core is turned off, I am in a constant endless void of hell, right?
Love it.
And then he disables his own self, right, to be a tracker on Kralkatorrik. That means he's still out there somewhere.
Because you know what I'm going to do?
Hell.
As soon as Timey becomes Blish, I'm turning her off. Darkness forever. Really, though, here's what should happen. Total annihilation. Everybody's dead. The end scene, instead of planting signs, I got to dig graves. I got to go by and dig each grave. Bram goes here, and then Timey, and then Arene. Big old grave for Arene. Press F. Pay respects. I love it.
Press F to dig a grave. That's
there's
like
an achievement for there's an achievement for putting flowers on the grave.
Yep. Really going full circle with season 1.
I've got it. So you can either dig the grave somewhere in Cantha and bury them all there, or for the extra achievement, you take them all around to the different places in Tyria where they came from.
Yeah, where they came from.
You take Bram and you bury him out in the snow, fucking in Cragstead. You put Kaith in the grove in her house. You go dig a hole there. Holy shit. You take Timey to Zoja's blighting pod. Just toss her in.
That would be really sad. That would be horrible.
See, I would be fired.
And probably very impactful, actually.
On the first day of work.
That would break people.
That would break people.
You gotta when you say you're going dark, you gotta go real dark.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
big time.
I do think it needs a bit more weight, though. Like, the story.
No, it definitely does.
It should change things, right? Like, we've defeated Kralkatorrik, and our characters did not change really in a significant way. Like the biggest piece of character development that's happened is like Casimir doesn't hiccup anymore, right? Boom, there you go. Like that is actually the narrative right there. We need a little more than that, a little more juice, right? And that's why I'm saying hear me out. Aurene gets corrupted and we have to put her down. Final boss fight of the story.
I mean, it's possible. Although is it possible?
Seriously,
okay, because in the
that would
trailers,
emotionally break people. Change my mind. Like if we kill Aurene, final boss fight. Seriously, that would emotionally, mentally break the community.
I would enjoy that. I would.
Yeah.
I think she'll sacrifice herself or something because that's kind of the revolving theme. But yeah, no, I would love to like just have to put her down.
Aurene strike mission, so you can kill her every day.
Sociopaths.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
god. Yes.
Make it a daily.
Is that possible? Storyline wise, what we see from the trailers is there's going to be there seems to be like accumulations of dark leyline energy, right?
Well, there's some kind of thing, yeah. The sky is all scary, and there's
now.
darkness.
Do we think that's because the Dragon Jade is corrupting the leyline energy, or do we think that's because all the energy that's passing through Aurene, all the lightness of it, is staying with Aurene, and all the darkness is passing through?
Well, we're on one dragon left, right? So things are probably going horribly wrong with the entire world, right?
Yeah,
and it probably like all this accumulates in Cantha because.
I think that it's likely that. Remember when Primordius and Ice Dragon, geez, the name totally escaped me. Jormag. Remember when they died, Aurene said that she couldn't filter all her magic and it went who knows where.
And you think that she filtered the good stuff and then the bad stuff went somewhere else?
Well, I think that excess magic went towards Cantha, and whatever Dragon Jade technology they've got going on and they've harnessed there, I think it's going to corrupt it and make it bad and unusable. But you got to remember, their whole society runs around Dragon Jade technology currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
They become dependent on it. So losing that would be pretty devastating.
Well, then they can't do that because we have Jade Masteries. So we're never going to get rid of Jade Tech.
It could just corrupt
Well, I'm not saying it would get rid of it, but it probably goes haywire and doesn't work properly, or it starts to disobey the masters and so on and so forth.
Yeah, what are the ethical ramifications of continuously using our masteries of Jade Tech when we know that it's corrupting the world?
They could just corrupt a big part of it. That could be what Jade Sea is. It could just be a huge part of the map is corrupted, and there are evil people like the Inquest trying to take it and use it for bad things.
Mm.
That could totally be the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. You know what they're more likely to do? I'm saying kill Aurene. I think that's not going to happen, though. I think it's more likely going to be like oh, I'm so sorry, my friends. You know, I must leave. My presence here will destroy the world. So it's a bit of a cop-out, right? They pull the punch a little bit. Like, she's still going to be gone from the story. Because here's the thing, guys. You cannot have a character like Aurene. It's like having Superman. It ends up stupid and contrived, right? It's not good. She's too powerful. She could like one-shot everyone. We already know this. And therefore, look, this was really annoying in Icebrood Saga, right? They had to give her this crazy plot. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I know that loads of you are dying in the war against Jormag and Primordius. Oh, but I simply can't intervene. I'm too nervous over here with my godlike powers. I can't help you. Good luck, right? I think that leads to a very unsatisfying direction in terms of the writing.
God, did that actually happen?
Oh, basically, yeah. More
I'm
or less,
so glad I didn't.
That more or less happened. Yeah. You know, so I think when you have really super powerful entities like this, the writing always is forced to be contrived. It's not even the fault of the writers. It's just that you can't write that in a satisfying way. I think it's one of the reasons why stuff like the Zaitan fight came across really weirdly, right? Even in the original game, it's because they're like, wait a minute, we've made this dragon like 100 times the size of a player. How are we going to have the player fight that in an even remotely convincing way, right? They were like, well, We'll have them fire missiles at them from an airship, right? But that's kind of all you can do. You can't say, "Oh yeah, swing your sword at the dragon to kill it," right? Because like it just looks ridiculous, right? It looks stupid. So they have to
kill it with dragon jade. You kill it with dragon jade cannons
with a giant laser beam.
Pod.
Yeah, you could do that.
To be fair for Zaitan, though, that's all we did was half the fight. That's an unfinished piece of content. It always was.
True. Yeah, there was supposed to be another instance to it, I believe, when you shot him down.
Shot him down, then you got to go down and kill him. But
the dragon fights have evolved over time for sure.
Yeah, I mean they've definitely gotten better. It'll be interesting to see what this ends up being, because Kunavang's involved as well. So that's another dragon. It's a lesser dragon, but still gonna have to deal with it, be part of the plot, and so forth.
Not gonna be a good dragon, Kunavang?
I don't know. Maybe.
It was kind of good last time.
Yeah. Help us out a little bit. Give us some celestial abilities.
Yeah. I think it's going to...
Will Kunavang be alive at the end of the story?
Oh,
no. Who survives? That's the big question.
All dragons are dead.
I hope.
Everyone is dead.
I like it.
Yeah. I think fresh start. Fresh start on the story. It's got to happen.
Honestly, we might all just be misinterpreting End of Dragons.
You know what's really funny about this?
It could just be the ends of dragons, like the dragon's butts. And the story is going to be fully about the dragon's tails or butts the whole time.
Sebastian, you know what to do.
Oh my God.
You know what I like about this is that everyone will be able to see how wrong or right we are tomorrow.
Can't wait. Can't wait to see how incredibly wrong I am.
So good. Yeah. Do you think you're going to be wrong?
For what I want to happen or what I think is going to happen? What I want to happen will never happen.
What do you think
is going to happen could be, some of that could be true.
What do you think is your most wrong prediction?
Ooh, good question.
I know what your least wrong prediction is.
What's that? The timing?
That's Kanak taking over the Aether Blades. And
you think?
Yeah.
I would like that actually. If Kanak,
that would be pretty cool.
That's
if he took over the Aether Blades and he's got a lot of money now. He's kind of piratey himself. Yeah, I like that. I don't know. What am I really? I don't know what to do with Bram. He's just so bad. I don't know what to do with him. So I don't have a good solution for him. He goes and retires. Boring, but maybe
they should have killed
everything
him.
Else
should have killed him.
Is doable. I think Kaz and Jory stay together / get married / whatever. Timey becomes Blish and her and Gorik are happy. Kaith goes off wandering again because she has no purpose. Ritlock sticks around because Ritlock is the OG and he always sticks around. I guess my biggest thing is I'm wrong about Irene. I think she sacrifices herself and she
explodes,
metamorphoses into some sort of ecological system that gets rid of the bad magic so Tyria doesn't blow up.
What happens to us as the dragon champion?
We get forgotten about in 250 years, so there's a Guild Wars 3.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the best part. That's going to be a really nice thing about Cantha, right? Is that we're going to this completely new land. They talked about this a little bit in the trailer they did, the kind of the story trailer, the gameplay features trailer, is that we go over there and no one has any idea who we are. We're like, oh yeah, you're just some random scrub. And they have no respect for us. They don't care about us in any way. They don't trust us. I think that's really nice. There's been this big problem that it's like, oh shit, it's the Pack Commander, that is unstoppable, deadly warrior. It's like, no. I think there's a reason why they, this is pointed out in chat that a lot of MMOs are trying to do a fresh start. It's because the problem with MMO storyline is that it always tends to escalate. MMOs in general escalate because they take such a long time. They did it, I think the perfect example of this is looking at damage numbers, DPS numbers. There was a point where in World of Warcraft, you were doing something like 2 million DPS, right? The numbers would appear on the screen would just be insane. They would cover the entire screen. So they had to nerf them all down again. It's kind of the same thing with the story. It's just that I think every MMO company is in this really unfortunate state where you have to one up everything you do, right? You need to, every single boss, it's got to be an even more unstoppably insanely powerful entity, right, that will destroy the entire universe, right, unless you fight this. It's even more powerful. It's you fought that dragon? Well, this is 7 dragons at the same time. This dragon is made out of dragons. That's kind of what Zaitan was, I guess, right?
That was the first dragon.
Yeah, let's go. And they've gone even further, right? Oh yeah, by the way, Mordremoth, he's an entire continent, basically. Boom!
You can't
even
even
bigger
imagine.
than you can't even
He's so
imagine how
big.
big he is. Oh yeah, Kralkatorrik, yeah, he's the entire, he's the sky, all of it, right? He's turning everything into purple. Wow, crazy. Like Primordus and Jormungandr, yeah, Primordus is so fucking big, we can only show you his head, right? Oh yeah, massive dragon. He's too big to even imagine. And then, yeah.
And then the ice dragon spits in his throat and everything blows up.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's
the rest of his body's probably there, right? Somewhere?
Somewhere, yeah.
You could probably dig down and get some dragon scales.
Can mine him. He's a rock, so you can just...
I don't think we're going to find out who E is at all in this. They may go back and touch on E in like future Living Story stuff, but not in this.
Yeah. Some storylines guys are dead, right? There was a really funny moment actually. I don't know if you guys saw this, but World of Warcraft guy, or just general MMO guy, I suppose, Belial, he did some Guild Wars 2 stuff, and he was like, "Oh boy, I can't wait." He was like,
guy.
"Oh boy, I can't wait to find out what happens with Malik." What an interesting story.
Didn't we all?
Okay, now Tio, what if Malik is in Cantha? He found his pale tree in Cantha in the end.
Ooh, what if Canuck is Malik?
And just
He just forgot his name the whole time.
Well, didn't he? Canuck resisted Mordremoth, right?
Mhm.
Totally,
Yes.
completely. Yeah,
Yes.
Canuck is Malik, easy.
Okay, done.
He doesn't give a fuck. Canuck is a Giga Chad.
What is interesting about the after end of Dragons is people like someone just brought up the Wizard's Tower. That's a story they could actually tell and go back and now tell us.
Strike mission.
Strike mission.
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
go.
Strike mission as well as, an extended map or something.
I hate that you can't get into it.
Wait,
I'm
can
trying
you
now.
can you
trying,
lag into
believe
it? Can
me.
you lag into it?
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, it's
Wait, is it even like what is it, an entity, or is it just like a sprite?
No, it's an entity. It's
Yeah.
just out of. You can't get to it.
Oh, it's out of bounds, right? So you can't.
Yeah.
The server says no.
Yeah. It probably doesn't have collision or anything either. It's probably just a big mesh.
Yeah.
That one portal in Brisbane Wildlands that everyone's been speculating about since launch, isn't that the map that it's in?
Oh,
That you can see but you can't get to?
Yeah. There is that like map that doesn't.
It's not hooked up and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's a spoiler. I mean, that's not a surprise, I guess, right? But,
Yeah, it's not. You just walk into it and hit the wall.
It would be interesting, actually. Like if they did like more almost random story updates. So instead of it progressing a storyline, it was a bit more random. So it was like, oh yeah, we're doing the Wizard's Tower. Look, oh yeah, Wizard's Tower story patch, by the way. So it was a bit more self-contained.
That would be pretty hard.
Is that good? Is that good? What do you guys think about that? If it was more self-contained instead of having these kind of
if they had a
plot lines?
grander scheme to it eventually, it would be good. If it's just one-off stories, then it's probably not the way to go.
No, I'm down because the commander says, "Oh yeah, well, there are things left in Tyria that I can investigate. Now that the big problem's gone, I can go solve mysteries." That would be cool.
we just do some Scooby-Doo shit. Like,
Let me get the Scooby Gang together. Ritlock, put on the collar.
Whoa! Ings, I didn't know you were into that stuff, dude. That's,
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
Give me some
really?
Scooby snacks.
Yeah? You a big Char fan? You know?
No, I don't even have a char on my account.
Really?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, Monster of the Week stories. It could work, I think, for a little while.
Yeah, Monster of the Week, Doctor Who kind of.
I do think you have to have like an underlying.
There's got to be something going
plot.
on, something grand,
Right.
right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You could
Yeah.
do like a Doctor Who season 9, was it, or 10, where it's Monster of the Week, but then the Bad Wolf, whatever situation.
Well, the obvious thing here then would be to do the kind of the Canton stuff, right? Something to do with the Empire, as it were.
Yeah,
Have something
Tengu.
going on with that. The Tengu.
or Lissa
Tengu-
still hanging around.
Yeah, or gods. That's true. Yeah, gods could also be in play because that's kind of something that's been left hanging, right? They're well, has it though? They're kind of just they're like, yeah, fuck that, we're out of here. See you guys later. Have fun. or the demons are creeping in. Look, strike mission.
Oh yeah,
Cormier's library strike mission. Ooh, that's big.
that'd be good.
I don't even remember what happened in that. Weren't there A-taxes and other spirity things that you had to kill?
Yeah, there was no
They're invaded.
boss. I don't think there was just going around killing spirits.
Yeah, I think that's all he did. It's been a while. I don't remember.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this is what I'm starting to realize about Guild Wars 2. Like, this game has a lot of development debt, right? There are so many unfinished storylines. Like the entire Desmina, that's not done yet. That's still going. Kadim is kind of finished, maybe. Who knows? He exploded. Like, Malik's not there. There's a lot of things that could be explored. Like, the God storyline could be explored. They have a lot of options after the expansion. They could go anywhere with this and have loads of content. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So let's pretend for a moment that there will be a Wing 8.
Oh.
What story would they tell in the raid for Wing 8 related to Cantha?
If they ever do a raid...
Or like loosely related to Cantha, like how Doom was loosely related to POF.
The only way, in my opinion, you're ever going to see another raid wing is if it's basically like a strike mission.
Okay, fine.
So in other words,
it
would be part of the main story. I don't see them ever doing a side story raid ever again. I think they would only ever do a main story raid, but it would have a difficulty setting such that it could be completed by 99% of the community. In the same way that the story right now can be completed by 99% of the community.
Mm.
And what would they do with what would they actually do? It's a good question, to be honest. Like, what would be epic enough?
So are all strike missions have to be present time?
I think they're allowed. It's allowed to move on. Because it would come out with presumably a living story episode, so it could be in the future, away from the original events of Ender Dragon. So yeah, it could be in the future.
But it can't be like Fractals, things in the past.
No, I think fractals are fractals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to rehash the Shiro fight, you would.
What about? I was just going to say, what about a Shiro fractal?
That would be a fractal, yeah, for sure. That would definitely be a fractal.
Shiro fractal.
And they could, what would be cool for a raid? I think this would be a nice, almost like a Guild Wars 1 thing, and people in the chat have already suggested it. It's the obvious one, right? They could do Urgos and Kanaxai, right? That would be the obvious 2 raid bosses. Have a raid wing, and it's just those 2. Or you could have single boss raid wings. Now that's a strike mission. Okay. Yeah, I know. I do want a raid wing because I think raids are a little bit different to strikes because they have a very different dynamic and they're good for tournaments as well. I don't know. I'm not sure what they do. It's a good question, Inks. I'm stumped. You've stumped me. Stumped everyone as well. What do you think, Inks? Inks? You got to answer your own question.
No, that's why I asked the question. I have no idea.
No, yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. You got to do it.
I mean, just like Boots, Shiro Fractal would excite me. I would like that for sure. Yeah.
How does that happen? How does that happen with Shiro being a revenant spirit, though?
It'd be confusing.
But no, it's a fractal, so it's out of time. You're fighting him before he becomes a spirit.
Yeah, I know, but you're bringing a character in with a spirit of Shiro, fighting him in the past. It would be an interesting conversation.
Well, yeah, they could add a little egg there where like the spirit talks to Shiro or something throughout the fight.
You about to get fucked.
This ends poorly for you.
Watch out.
Yeah.
I killed.
And I know ArenaNet said they would never do this, but give us the missing fractal from the voting.
Oh, what would it be? Wait, what was the other one going to be? Actually,
Abaddon.
Oh yeah, the Abaddon fractal. Yeah. That would be
unrelated to Cantha, but
that would be a good strike mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be a good strike mission.
Yeah.
Have you done? You haven't done any strike mission tournaments yet, have you?
No, I don't. Strike missions don't work as a tournament because they're just boss kills. So there's no. Right. There's not a lot of points of excitement on them, and it just comes down to who can do the most damage, really. It's just a DPS race, pretty much.
What was the fastest bone skinner?
The fastest bone skinner, I believe, was 14 seconds. Or 17 seconds.
It's kind of fast.
Yeah. But that was mostly because of the action.
Are actually difficult, though.
Okay. a strike mission tournament, but it's only 5 men.
The problem is that that's kind of not the point, though. It's not about making it hard. Like they probably will be like decently challenging, but that's not the point. The point is that there's no strategic difference you can employ really on a single boss. There will be a composition that is optimal, and even if there are multiple compositions, they will be within a few seconds of each other, right? So it's going to come down to who can do the most damage. The thing about a raid is you can do, you've got to figure out the best comp for all 3 bosses. That's a lot less certain, right, than just one boss. It's a lot hard to actually compute that, to get that fully min-maxed. You have movement between the encounters. You have, like, how do you deal with the trash events? And just having more bosses means there's a way higher chance that you can potentially wipe. And it means that you can come back. If you wipe on a strike mission, you've lost, right? It's completely game over. If you wipe on a raid boss, well, it turns out that the bosses, in a way, are not even the focus of a raid tournament. Like, it's more like the transition between them. That's where you save a lot of time. If you look at say the speed run that I did with my group, right, where we got a sub 2 hour run, and you compare that to the world record, which is done by the downstate cucks, they did like a 147 or something like a 143 even or something like that, I believe, which is obviously significantly faster. The big time saves there, it's not actually the boss kills. Like, they're obviously faster on the boss kills too with more damage, but the big time saves is actually how they handle the movement between the encounters. That's where the really interesting strategy and gameplay is, and that's why strike missions don't really work super well for tournament formats, because you don't have that strategic element of it. It's just who can hit their buttons the hardest, you know?
That's the same thing as dungeons. Have you seen any of the recent dungeon records?
I've seen a few
and how
of them,
crazy they are. It's insane. I didn't even think you could do shit like that. Because when I came back and started doing dungeons again in a Raw Path 2, I was just running the same routes as I used to do. But dungeons now are 4 guardians running to a boss, and then when the boss is dead, suddenly a thief appears and drops a portal and you're across the map. And if you watch the thief POV, it's targeting mobs through walls that you shouldn't be able to target and blinking to them and triple jumping up shit with vault. It's crazy. It's 100% about the movement because the bosses are so trivial.
Yeah, and it's funny, actually, because we did run a Dragon Response mission tournament. I know that DRMs weren't very popular, and they actually weren't very popular with the guilds, and the guilds were like, oh, grumble, 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 don't want to do this, right? But you know what? You know what's really funny? After the tournament, the guild said, yeah, it was actually a lot of fun, and we really enjoyed optimizing it. And there was a really funny quote. They were like, oh yeah, you know, the next thing I'm going to go do now is go and do more DRMs, right? So the guild that won the tournament, they were like, yep, let's go do some more DRMs after this. And I think that's where, certainly from a competitive perspective, a lot of things can be very, very interesting, certainly in PvE, right? It is the strategy, how you approach the content as a whole, not just the boss, right, itself. And that's what you see with dungeons, right? Dungeons are very, you know, the bosses aren't really, they do nothing, right? And it's the same thing with DRMs, but it's the way you approach the content that makes it interesting.
Well, it's not even that the bosses do nothing. It's that you have, a lot of them have really cool mechanics. You just don't ever see them because they die so fast.
Yeah. What you're saying is we need to buff all dungeon HP pools.
Yeah, dungeon hard mode would be awesome. Can you imagine if there was a dungeon hard mode and it was like level 80 fractals back in the day, where you had veteran Ascalonian monk hitting you for 20,000 damage using heal area, literally the staff auto attack, one-shotting the whole party, and you had to think about strategies of how to handle large groups of mobs. It was really cool. There was really cool stuff, and you had to approach things completely differently. But I don't.
Dealing with those skeleton nests would be fun.
Skeleton nests?
Like, yeah, in Ascalon Catacombs.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be rough.
So we've kind of, you know, talked about the story a little bit.
Drifted,
and you know, we've drifted. So here's the big, to me, this is the $1 million question. This is going to be the most important part. This is going to be more important than the expansion itself. What happens after the expansion, content-wise?
I already told you.
Well, I'm not talking about space. I'm talking about, yeah, I'm talking, no, I don't mean space. I mean, are we going to, you know, what's going to happen? You know, how often are we getting a living story update? When are we getting alliances, right? Balance patches, right? What's happening? What's the content plan? What are ArenaNet going to focus on in terms of actually developing the game? And not the story, but the content.
Good.
I could see a patch every 3 months that has story, balance, and something like that in it. And then separately of that, I could see potentially 3 different cycles. There could be a PvE cycle, it's every 3 months. There could be a World v World cycle, it's every 6 months. And it's staggered with the PvE one, and then you can have a PvP cycle that's just here and there as they add stuff.
I could also see strike missions coming out with those 3-month cycles. Like if they're basing it on in-game boss things, they could turn that into a strike mission each time. Probably the quality on each one's not going to be the same every time, but
I almost expect whatever the storyline is, I expect 1 strike per storyline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening.
Like 1 boss strike per storyline.
I
don't know if we'll get CM right away, but CMs might take a couple weeks after that or something to release because, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be out at the same time. We know they're updating the legendary weapons, so you're going to get Primordius and Kralkator and whatever.
Updating, or do you mean adding new ones?
No, adding the alternate versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the alternate versions to the Arene weapons.
Oh, I want the Zaitan ones. Oh.
Now the question is, when they add those alternate versions, are they just going to be, here's the alternate version and here's how to get it? Or will it be somehow tied to the story?
I think you get the precursor and then you can turn it into one of them.
Yeah, I know, but I think they're staggering that.
I don't know.
I think you got to unlock it somehow. There'll be some gameplay.
Shit.
There'll be like a collection. I think like a collection style thing that you're going to have to go to unlock it.
You can buy them, right?
Yeah, you buy the base one, and then you'll have to infuse it with dragon juice to.
I want that to be a collection. I want that to be a collection. I want it like for Zaitan. I want you to have to go back and kill Zaitan again. And
you have to do a
Yeah, not story mode, please. Story mode is so bad.
Your choice. It's your choice.
You probably will have to do story mode.
Now, if they said to me,
no, because it's actually broken. If you go into a raw story mode right now, it randomly DCs and kicks everyone out of the instance.
Really?
That's not great.
Yes, it does. I was testing some things out in a raw story mode.
Oh, really?
And so I would go, and there would be new players that needed help with it outside of the dungeon, asking in Say Chat, little peepos that were brand new to the game. I would say, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And we would play through the first part, and we'd kill one of the bosses, and then 8 seconds later, it would just crash everyone out of the instance. Or we'd be on an airship, and it would crash everyone out of the instance.
I think that this is a bit wishful thinking, but what if they updated
That's what I was just about to say.
Into strikes?
Yeah.
They updated what?
What if in order
they updated
to
those boss fights into strikes?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
What if in order to infuse your Oreen stuff with Zaitan, for example, they turned Zaitan, updated the fight, turned it into a strike, and that's how you do that story part of to get the infusion.
That would be huge.
Lupica's strike mission.
Yeah, I think it's a little wishful thinking, but that would be huge. That would be really big.
Yeah.
I guess the
I would
only
love to
problem
see
with
it.
this,
I would love it.
Let's imagine that they do this. So let's suppose they go back and update old content. That probably means that you wouldn't get new content.
That is true.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm totally fine.
Is
with
everyone
that.
okay with that? I mean,
But it is new content, though, right? Because you're getting a new Zaitan fight.
What if in canon, at the end of Dragons, you somehow end up in space, and you're stuck. You're stuck floating in space. You're stuck floating in space, and your brain is rehashing all your old memories, and going back and redoing the Zaitan fight, for example, is rehashing an old memory of fighting Zaitan.
I wouldn't mind it. It's just that I wouldn't mind stuff like this, going back and changing stuff, maybe without the space part. I think that's maybe where it gets a little out of control, because there is this really weird thing, right? So strike missions are going to be the main end game of Guild Wars 2, but you never encounter them until Icebrood Saga. Isn't that really weird for a new player that you'll never see that? So it would make sense if they wanted to add some of this stuff earlier in the game, like make the Mordramoth fight a strike mission, make the Balthazar fight a strike mission, make the Zaitan fight or some other stuff from the core game a strike. So players kind of get introduced to these concepts very early on.
Yeah, Big Nose
when
Ted.
they're playing through the game. Yeah, Big Nose Ted,
I heard about
strike
that.
mission. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Inks was telling about this earlier, that they're actually confirmed adding Big Nose Ted as a strike mission. So we know that's happening already, actually. And that's, you know, that's going to be early on. That's like level 10, right? You have to do Big Nose Ted. So, yeah. I mean, well, it's a good thing Brazil's got a guide for that, because otherwise people are going to really struggle with that. But, yeah, they made direct response missions. They did make DRMs for that, but this will be a little bit different, because I don't think they really want to do DRMs again. Not like that anyway. Not exactly like that. They'd probably do it a little bit differently. But yeah, so I don't mind the idea of going back to update old content and add stuff to the game. It's just that I wonder if people will be okay with this. You know, I talked about this a bit on stream actually with Sneb a while back, and I think I'm definitely on board the go back and fix the broken parts of the game, you know, for newer players train. But I just wonder if players who are kind of hungry for new story would be upset with that.
There's a cost to be paid, unfortunately.
Because it will be new gameplay, don't get me wrong, right? It will be a very, you know, it is new content, but it will be old story, right? It will be old story. Being added, which could potentially be upsetting to people, because a lot of people do play the game for the story, as you know. I know that a lot of people here would scoff at that, but it's absolutely true. I would even say that
I think
the majority of players play the game for the story, in fact.
I think you're right. I think that it would be appreciated doing these rehashing old things and turning them to strikes, making things interesting again. But I think they would want to, at the same time, have information that the story will progress after this. That we're not just going to be rehashing things in the future all the time, that we are going to actually progress the story afterwards. So, like, if they somehow had new story and then intersperse it with reimagined old fights, that would be best, probably.
Yes. Didn't they do that with Living Story Season 1?
Did they?
You know, do you think they would? Do you think they would?
Nights? Yes.
Maybe.
Because that would be something that you could add back to the game, because in a way that would be a new story experience for most people, because most players who play the game today will not have played Season 1, right? So it would actually be, in a way, be new story, because they wouldn't have Karka, the ancient Karka.
Yeah, the ancient Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken.
The Kraken Queen.
Do you want to get stepped on by the Kraken Queen?
I'd be down.
Yeah. Or rolled on, right? They do the roll attack. It's just squish you.
The Kraken when they added that was actually hard for us. They're hard mobs in addition to getting 3 FPS in South Simcoe.
Yeah, that was the issue. If we could get a strike mission of the Karka with more than 10 FPS, that would be pretty good.
That weekend, oh my god, that was such a crazy weekend for me.
It was great, though.
Well, I got free precursors.
I was driving across the United States to go see a friend perform in a choir concert, and I was with his mom in the car, and I was like, I gotta get there so I can play on his computer and do this Guild Wars 2 event before it's over. Is it cool if I do like 140 miles an hour? She was like, oh yeah, go for it. And so I did 140 for like 2 hours straight. And got to his computer and logged on just in time to do it in 2 different overflow maps.
140 miles an hour?
Yeah. She had a Mustang GT. I was fucking hauling ass.
Wow.
Nice.
I mean, that's impressive, I've got to say. I'm not sure what I'm more surprised by, that you didn't get arrested, or that you're not dead.
You didn't crash, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like straight lines in Kansas in the middle of nowhere. It was totally fine. I'm a good driver.
You were ready for the Beetle racing.
I was ready for the Beetle racing.
Yeah. Oh, are we gonna get more Beetle races?
Yeah.
In EOD?
Yeah, probably, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. Same with Griffin races. They'll probably have Griffin races then.
Yes, Griffin races.
Turtle races.
And they can even go further now because they could the Griffin races could require you to use the Jade bot as well.
Yes.
Because the Jade bot will enhance your mount experience. Although maybe they wouldn't.
I like it.
Maybe they wouldn't do that actually because yeah, that's maybe a bit too weird. Like you require interaction with another mastery to do it.
Well, not to do it, but maybe to get the top time.
Yeah.
Like if you want to top that leaderboard.
Do they make you do it to get gold?
You're going to need the Jade bot for fractal leaderboards.
Not for fractal leaderboards, but for the Griffin race thing.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. I need my 235 power core. Ah, yes, the Jade bot. Well...
Yeah, Nike wishes power.
Yeah, we don't honestly, like... We don't really talk about that much, honestly. It's a little bit of power creep in the game. I just think that they're doing it to give, like, 11k HP classes more vitality so people feed. It's actually a really interesting part of strike design, actually, and it's kind of the same thing with Ritualist and Dragon Gear. It's quite an intelligent design direction that ArenaNet's going with this endgame PvE stuff, because right now there actually is a really big balance problem, and it's a weird balance problem that you don't hear about that much, and it's because of the fact that everyone has different health at a baseline in Guild Wars 2. So, let's suppose that we have Doom, okay? How much damage should a Doom auto attack do? Well, if you make it do, say, 12,000 damage, well, we've got a bit of an issue there, because that means it's going to one-shot Thief, Elementalist, and Guardian, potentially, but it's going to do only half the hit points of Necromancer and Warrior, right? That's a little weird, right? That's a bit of an unusual way to have the game balanced, because it means that you almost have to tune things really aggressively, otherwise the boss attacks just don't do anything. And if you tune them really, really lightly, they do nothing, right? Like, imagine if you say, okay, we're going to make it so Doom's auto attack does 6k damage, so an LE can only take one of them before it goes downstate. Well, now that means that a Necro can eat 4 of them without going downstate or something. That's a very problematic balance issue. So I think that they're trying to address that by adding stuff like Ritualist stats into the game and stuff like Dragon stats and the Jade bot which now is going to work. Percentage damage is bad, really bad, because that would actually massively favor things that have low health, because that means because healing would essentially be more effective on them. So percentage damage would be one of the worst possible solutions.
What if it alternated percentage and flat?
So do you think they really need to balance something like that?
Yes.
Let's say for the Doom fight, you think it's bad that only these classes can tank this particular fight?
One of the reasons why Scourge is so dominant is because it is immune to mechanics. Yes.
Well, then you design a boss that
specifically kills Scourges.
Yeah, specifically kills Scourges.
Yeah, but
makes them less effective.
That's a Band-Aid fix, though, right? That's
sure. It's also not a great idea. Like if you say all bosses now get that trait that warriors have, that deal extra damage to people with barrier, then yeah, that's not great.
Yep. Increased heavy
offense. They deal extra damage to whatever the most popular rune is, and that includes legendary runes.
Yep.
Fixed.
So that's kind of the problem. And I think this is something that, and I think Arena is fixing it, right? Because now, okay, well, if you're an 11k HP Elementalist, well, maybe they're going to add loads of free precision to Weaver so it can run Dragon Gear. And all of a sudden, okay, right, you're not on 11k health anymore. Okay, good. Now you have like 17,000 health or something like that. And they'll add traits that scale off Vitality that benefit it even further. Now, where this goes wrong is something like Guardian. And this is why, and ultimately Guild Wars 2 is always designed as a PvP game, which is why this gets really hard to balance PvE. Because now you go, okay, well, we're going to buff, we're going to make it so that Guardian can run loads of Vitality. But funnily enough, Guardian is actually the exact class that doesn't need Vitality because it has loads of Aegis and loads of defensives built into it. So this is the downside of the change they're going here. There are going to be big winners and big losers in the kind of the new meta here. And Guardian is like an insane big winner because it has low Vitality, so it's getting giga buffed by the Jade bot. and it's getting buffed by Ritual stats at the same time. And it also happens to be like the low HP class that really doesn't need any more hit points, right? Very interesting, actually. Like it's I don't envy the job of the balance team for PvE at all, because there are so many just fundamentally broken things in the game right now, and trying to juggle all of that and make it somehow even is going to be almost impossible. It's very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there you go. What do you guys think about that? About the PvE balance memes?
I think that
The can of worms?
Necromancer and Firebrand are an issue. And I have no idea how they're going to address it.
Yeah.
I mean,
without
there are
like just
issues in
destroying them.
specific places.
Say that again, Boots?
There are issues in specific places, not.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong.
Well, in a way, though, it is a little bit, you know, it is a little bit fundamental, though. It's almost non-specific, actually. It's more like the way the class is designed, to an extent. Scourge is hard to nerf. Very hard to nerf, without reworking it. If you just play with the numbers, I think the point where it becomes balanced is actually the point where the number is 0. or like 100, right? So if you have like any barrier on the F3, it would have to be so garbage for it not to be really good, actually. It would have to be trash. Like, it would...
Yeah,
which is actually really hard to fix it, because it's fully ranged, it has 20k HP, damage reduction, loads of area effect damage, Condi Cleanse built in, AoE barrier built in, Signet of Undeath built in. You have to just absolutely destroy the class if you want to make it not really, really dominant, because the 20k HP thing is a big deal. It actually is. With some of the stuff, particularly because it's ranged, right? It makes it super hard to balance it, because the problem is if you go, okay, right, we're going to make bosses hit so hard that it can kill Necro. Well, there's the thing about poor Ellie at that point. I mean, you actually see this in Fractals. If you look at 100 CM, they actually tried to do this specifically, funnily enough. In fact, I think they did anyway. So they made it so that if you don't have the Fractal Potion, most of Eye, Keeper of the Peaks attacks will actually one-tap you, even if you're a Necro. If you don't have protection and you don't have the potions, it will literally hit you for like 20k. You will die instantly, right? But the problem with this is that because the boss hits so hard, that if you don't have potions, you're going to get one shot. If you don't have protection, you're going to get one shot. And also, if you don't have like 20k health, yeah, you're going to get one shot, particularly if you don't have heavy armor. And that's kind of an issue, right? That's a bit of a problem, because it means that...
But hold on a second, though. Yep. If you're intending to kill a Scourge, if you're trying to make something that will kill a Scourge, then that's going to be a mechanism that's going to kill an Ellie anyway. Why does it matter if it's 50k damage?
Well, because then the game just completely goes to everything one-shotting you, which is that good?
It's probably not good, but you could have some, like, sprinkle in some mechanics like that in there.
Yeah, I agree, but should everything one-shot you?
No, of course not.
Maybe on CM, like double CM.
Double challenge mode?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of that's the direction you go down. Like, if we say, okay, well, we're gonna make it so that this fight can kill a Necromancer. Well, at that point, you have to basically make every attack kill you instantly. Particularly with how strong all like the healing is in the game. Like, healing and defensives are so powerful that if you don't one-shot people, they'll be full health very, very quickly again. And funnily enough, yeah, you can say, yeah, but it's not like this in Dark Souls. Like, you actually don't get one-shot in Dark Souls. There's a lot of damage there, but, you know, I've been watching Elden Ring, and you lose like 75% of your hit points in one attack. That's fair enough. But you actually have, what really surprised me about that game is, honestly, you have like so much evasion and so much healing. Like, you know, it's like pretty overtuned towards the player, honestly, in that game.
The point is not to get hit in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you want to avoid getting hit. It's kind of the same thing in Guild Wars 2 right now, that they're weirdly similarly tuned. Like, a lot of things, particularly in Fractals, will take 75% of your health away, but you can get it back really quickly. You know, and you have evasion frames, stuff like that, right? It's a very tough one. Like, PvE in Guild Wars 2 is honestly one of the biggest conundrums out there. I think that there will be a time where they're going to have to really hit a lot of professions with a hammer and rework quite a lot of them, actually. I'm not going to lie. Because I've said this a few times, and I'll say it again. Like, if Scourge stays in the state that it is right now, it's almost impossible for ArenaNet to actually make anything hard in the game. because of how powerful it is on a mechanical level. It's not even about the numbers on it. It's about its design, right? It's so powerful. You know, we saw this in PvP, right? I'm sure you guys remember the Scourge era in PvP, right? Where you would just run like 2 or even 3 Scourges sometimes in PvP. And it got nerfed a lot. They nerfed the barrier, they nerfed the damage, they nerfed the might, and people kept on playing it. Why? Because the design on the abilities are just so oppressive to the game. Like, there are just some things that Scourge does, and Firebrand and Renegade too, that probably just shouldn't exist, right? That are fundamentally badly designed if you want to make the game challenging. They're fun to play, which is how ArenaNet typically designs things, but they're fundamentally broken just for existing in a way that other professions aren't, which makes it very difficult to balance, right? How they go about changing that? I think it has to be reworked. I think that there's pretty much no escape from it. I think stuff like Necromancer or Scourge in particular, and probably Firebrand and Renegade, need to be changed on a very deep mechanical level because they're just broken, right? And they probably always will be.
What are the optics of that, though?
That's the problem, right? Like, if they do that, and this is the ultimate thing that ArenaNet would never say this, and I don't blame them for saying it, is that they're not really looking to balance the game. They're looking to make people enjoy the game, right? Which I guess, is a noble aim, right? But I do think that if they balance the game right now, one, it would make it unplayable for a large portion of the player base because it would be such a reduction in power creep. But secondly, yeah, people hate nerfs, right? They absolutely hate getting nerfed. I think that I hope they come down really hard on Firebrand, Scourge, and Renegade on launch, but holy shit, the tiers are gonna be unreal. Like, I'm gonna make a prediction here, guys. After the expansion, Firebrand, Renegade, and Scourge are still going to be amazing. In some ways, they're actually getting buffed. Like, Firebrand is going to become, like, God tier with Ritualist, and also because everything's going 5 target, and it already is 5 target. Renegade is still going to be amazing because it's fucking Renegade, it's unkillable, it does loads of damage, and it gives alacrity. And Scourge is going to be OP because it's Scourge. But seriously, when they nerf this stuff, oh my god, all the Necromains, all the Guardian Mains, they're gonna be crying so fucking hard. They're like, oh no, I'm still best in slot on every boss, but by 10% less. Oh no, right? They're gonna be crying, they're gonna be screaming like, fuck ArenaNet, I'm uninstalling. But that's gonna happen almost certainly, right?
Nike will farm their tears.
He's gonna enjoy it. Up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not gonna kill Renegade, guys. ArenaNet want, guys, ArenaNet want people to play their game. They're not just going to, like, delete them from the game.
They should nerf Renegade, but bring back Soulcleave Summit.
You know what? I agree. They should...
What is Soulcleave Summit? What do you mean?
The Renegade Elite.
The Elite.
Do they nerf it?
Oh, yeah, big time.
They give it an internal cooldown, yeah. Ouch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it was... making you able to ignore a lot of mechanics, just like Scourge does. But it's my dog. But yeah, I don't know. So, but it's interesting that it's removed from the game, and then Scourge is still there.
Yeah. It's just they're having fun. You know what? I hope they haven't missed this, but I think they have. Scourge will be one of the very few things that still has 10 target. Because it doesn't have a number that says 10. It has like 4 times 3, right? Or 2 times 5. So Scourge is going to be so fucking OP. Memes.
Do you think the timing is important? The timing is important because if they nerf it on launch, let's say, and Harbinger comes out and it's like, Harbinger is what it is. It's not as powerful as some of the other elite specs coming out at the same time. Do you think there's going to be a lot of uproar about like my Scourge died for this kind of situation?
People just say that their class is pay to win, that you have to buy the expansion to have the best thing. And they'll complain about it for a month on Reddit and then nobody will care anymore.
As hard as you nerf Scourge, though, I don't think it's going to be worse than Harbinger.
I do have a bit of a problem with the way people... I don't know how you solve this, because to me, it's very much a greater good thing. If you don't nerf stuff, the game will be worse. Right? That is a fact. The game will be a worse game. And ultimately, you'll have less fun with it. Because if the game is trivial, because everything's really overpowered, then how is that fun to play? Right? It's not
Okay.
engaging anymore. It's just not fun. Like,
You
it's
know-
like, when everyone has done this, right? When you played like Warcraft 3, you turned on the cheat codes, right? But the game isn't fun when you're playing with cheat codes, right? It's just, you get bored. You realize that, yeah, this is actually not a good way to engage with the game. It's not fun to do this. You know?
I have a counterpoint to that, actually. The legendary card and not the EU card DM'd me on Discord at the beginning of TeaTime, and he said, "Sunday raid pugs, holy fuck, finished escort with 4 people, fuck my life. And this is a ping KP EXP Raiders group." And then he said, "Strike CMs are a mistake. Open world is too hard. We need 50 target boon cap." So I think you could make the game completely trivial and people would still feed and have no idea what to do.
Well, people in North America would.
Well, that's kind of my point as well, though, because over the years, we talked about this a little earlier, I think ArenaNet have been trying to solve people not being very good at the game by attempting to make the game easier to play, but it hasn't worked. People still feed really hard. The exception to this has kind of been fractals. Like, I think a lot more people were able to do fractals when they made Condi ridiculously overpowered in fractals, like Scourge and you know what's really annoying about this, by the way, guys? You know what? I'm mad. I'm pissed. Okay, people actually say, "Oh, it was a really good change that they buffed Scourge and Firebrand in fractals because it made it way easier." Do you know what? You could have done the exact same comp before that change, and it would have been insane. Okay. Seriously, like if everyone had been running triple Scourge in fractals before that change, yeah, same result. Maybe like 30 seconds slower on each boss, maybe 45 seconds slower, but it would have been the exact same level of easiness, right, by playing Scourge. So that was entirely that, like, oh yeah, fractals are easy now because Scourge is good. Nope, Scourge was already good. People just didn't even recognize it. That's something that it genuinely causes me physical pain, right? That people are like, "Oh, nice, my Scourge is good now, so I can cheese all these raids." Nope, you could have done that before the patch as well. You just have no idea how the game works, right? It's like, oh, rant over.
I remember
weekly balance discussion.
I remember like 5 years ago or something, us having conversations about Firebrand Renegade, and I kept on being like, people should probably play Firebrand and Renegade together.
Yeah.
And then you guys were like, "No, just play 2 Mesmers. Just play 2
No,
Mesmers."
I always said Firebrand, but I said Heal Rev instead of Renegade. Well, no, it's the same thing. You play it, yeah.
To be fair, you were saying that, Boots. You were saying that when Firebrand and Ren were actually quite bad.
I know, shut up.
Yep.
The point is, I'm right always.
You knew it would be true.
Eventually. I'm eventually always right.
ArenaNet seen the podcast and they were like, "You know what? Boots is right. We need to make this happen."
Yeah, I'm responsible for the current meta.
I don't know why people
Thank you.
forgot that I was saying that. I was saying that shit too. I was big into that.
Yeah. No, you were agreeing with me. I think,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Three builds at once.
Yeah. Oh. No, that's bad. That's stupid, bad, actually, X. You don't play that.
Yeah. Condi Reaper. Yeah, good build.
Good times.
Oh,
Just
man.
like the times we're going to have in EOD tomorrow.
Good callings. I like that.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. I like that full segue there. What else are we going to talk about, though? I think we've kind
Art
of...
reveal.
art reveal? Okay, fine. Reveal the art. Spam it in the chat. Spam it in the chat now. Unleash it. I'm definitely not showing this on stream.
No, this is the censored version. You can share the censored version for sure.
Okay. Wait, where is it going?
It's going into chat.
Okay, I'm
Sedius is here. Ready.
Yep. Okay, here we go.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, here we go. What is this? Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
DM me, and you can have the uncensored version.
What the fuck is going on here? The censored version. I'm not even sure if I can show this, okay? Like,
You can totally show that.
I don't know, guys. It is
Let me tell you,
censored.
chat. You are gonna want the uncensored version, so make sure you get in touch.
You know
with
what?
Phil.
I put the uncensored version in chat too. I do it.
Wow.
I'm only gonna link it once. And
So you
then
better
you've got to
be-
get it.
You better be ready.
You've got to
chat.
get it. You got to be
Maybe-
fast.
You got to be.
You got to
quick.
be fast.
I'm
All right,
the
3,
speed.
2, 1.
Okay, wait.
The cheek is red and everything. It's perfect.
Wow. Like
Teapot looks legit terrified.
to be fair, it's pretty imposing, right? There's a situation there. Yeah.
Bonus.
Wait,
This
bonus
one has
mate?
cutout for faces, so you can put whoever you
Oh
want. in it.
wow. Yeah. So that could be. Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Extra content. I like that.
You know what that could be, dude? Zara can be CMC, and then like the face of me can be like the Guild Wars 2 community about to get nerfed, right? That's what's gonna happen there. Like,
Poor
original.
Boots.
You could have done a combo meme there actually, Brazil. You could have modeled it off the original Zara, like old Zara,
Old
yeah. The pre-Zara before that. Well, I mean, I've got to say that is quite something, guys. That's something. Wait, what's this? Yeah. There's also Teapot Gar as well. That's a new thing. Yeah, Sedius bringing the memes to the table here. I like that. That's good. Anyway,
Hold on, is
moving.
Linka or Danny? Are you in chat right now?
I mean, of course they are. They're lurking.
Okay, here you go. Emote, go.
Wait, what's this? Wait, oh god. What would that even
Nice.
be? What emote would that be?
Teapot trapped.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm gonna save that for later. I think it's gonna save that emote.
Yeah. I have a lot of uses for that emote. Actually, it's a good.
Wait, what? What uses do you? What possible use could you have for that?
Slash fiction.
Plenty of uses.
Okay, interesting stuff. Teapot surprise, exactly, guys. Teapot surprise, indeed. Teapot punish. That's actually not bad. Yeah, teapot punish.
That's good.
Oh man, what a meme. Good memes. Do we have anything else to talk about though? About Ed of Dragons? I think we've covered a lot of things actually here. A lot of topics, a lot of different things to discuss.
I think so.
Is there anything else? Talked about elite specs a little bit. Talked about balance. Talked about the maps. Talked about open world. Talked about strike missions. Talked about like what content they're going to release in the future.
Fishing?
Fishing? I mean,
Fuck, I have to
boats.
link these ones too. Okay, this is the last one.
yeah, I mean fishing? Alternate version. That's just me on my own. Okay, I see.
Yeah, they're broken up, so you can
And
do
there's
whatever
just
you want
Zara?
with them.
So, I mean, look,
Yeah,
that's
just Zara.
it's the fulfillment of a long time dream for Brazil. Like finally, the Futa Zera artwork that he desires.
That I desire. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we've kind of rounded everything out. Is there anything else that we? I mean, we could talk about fishing, right, and skiffs and siege tales, but honestly, I don't think there's really that much to say on these because I mean they're going to be cool. They're going to be all right. There'll be interesting mechanics, I guess. That will be like
The mechanic. I enjoy Stardew Valley. I will enjoy this fishing.
Yeah, fishing.
I think a lot of people will as a time passer.
Oh yeah, that's actually we could do that as a final topic. Yeah, I saw this and I wanted to bring this up actually. Yeah, what do you think they're going to do? Are they going to be working on another expansion?
Yeah.
You think that's going to X-Pack number 4 is 100% that's going to happen?
Yeah.
How long?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. Reasonable. So we have like a year of Living Story, then another, like a year and a half of Living Story, I guess, ish, and then boom.
Yeah.
Into the
It's got to be at least 2 years because I don't know that we'll get Living Story at least for a couple of months afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
don't know if we're going to get new elite specs though.
yeah, that's the big meat of this question. Where do we go? Do you think they could get one more set in, or are we at the breaking point? Do they have more
I
design
don't think
space?
so. I don't think they can make any more.
I think they do on some specs. Like we don't have like a proper support warrior spec, for example. They could get that in there, right? That could squeeze in. Or like, Elementalist doesn't have a ranged elite specialization. So they could be like a ranged Ellie. Because I know all the elements like, give us longbow. They got hammer instead. Yeah, fucking
This is what I was thinking would be interesting as a surprise in this expansion, which is not going to happen, but I thought it'd be interesting. You know how we see all these ritualist things going on in the streams and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What if, since we're not getting it as an elite spec, what if a ritualist
Oh,
My dog is barking outside. What if a ritualist spec is introduced as an option? Just the line, that line is introduced as an option for all characters. That's earnable in game.
it's like a
And that's
global trait line.
Yeah, it would have to be like less powerful than other things, probably. It would be interesting to see how it interacts with all different classes. But yeah, and that's what they could do for new expansions. They could introduce 1 or 2 global trait lines.
How would they make that interact with abilities? It would have to be quite passive in a way, right? Because otherwise it would be hard to make it interact with profession skills or mechanics in some way.
Yeah, exactly. It would have to be very generic.
Yeah. Do you think that would?
It would have to be very self-contained, really.
Yeah. Because otherwise it would be weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it.
Oh.
No more new elite specs, but we get a new race.
Oh.
I think that's the only thing
as much as I've been cheerleading a new race, I don't think that's enough for people.
I think it would be. I think people would really like it if it came along with like new story and new content.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen.
That could be an expansion in itself.
Yeah,
it could, but I'm a little skeptical. Yeah, I almost like a new class is more likely than a new race, or maybe even another. Like,
Both.
is adding a new class good enough for an expansion, like on its own? So just a new class, new profession, rather.
Well, if they add a new class, don't they have to add 3 elite specs on top of the class?
Yeah,
Probably
it's
one.
less likely.
Not necessarily, but what if they did? What if they introduce one new class with 3 elite specs, and they say, okay, this is how core plays, this is how this one plays, and this is how this one plays. And they have to be pretty different from one another to really sort of sell that, so that people can say, oh, I'm totally into core, or I really want, A or B or whatever.
You know what they could do? They can make it so that each elite spec uses a different armor weight as well.
Ooh, spicy. I like that.
Yeah. So that means that everyone who likes the look of heavy, medium, and light armor would be able to enjoy the new profession to some extent, because you'd be able to use the skins on that character in some way.
Ooh, I like that. Yep. With particular weapons for each one.
That'd be great, yeah.
Wait, wouldn't that be really horrible though? Because you'd have to buy a set of armor for each elite spec.
That's correct. But this is end game Guild Wars 2. This is like everybody has legendary armor by then.
Everyone.
All sets.
Well, I mean, even making ascended armor, it's not that terrible if you had to make 3 sets of ascended.
Okay.
What if
the legendary armor die channels have been fixed by this point?
Yeah,
it's that far on the end game.
You could also do it so that as you unlock an elite spec or the core all the way, it gives you a box of exotic whatever armor.
I actually know what they should do for the next expansion. People would love this. I'm not kidding. This would be probably the biggest feature to Guild Wars 2 to date. They add player housing with blockchain NFT technology, so you can have your own plot. You can have your own plot and prove that it's yours.
Oh my god!
You can add JPEGs of Zoja.
Yeah, because that's actually on the blockchain. Yeah, you can get that. If you want to buy a Zoja NFT, that's available for you. Yeah, no, I somehow I think they're going to stay away from NFTs. They tend to make your company not look good.
Yeah, what's the exchange rate for Bitcoin to gems?
That's where Canuck's money goes. Canuck takes all of his money and makes a cryptocurrency.
Canuck coins.
Oh man, that would be big. Then they add it so you can pay out your gems in game or Canuck coins in game to real life money. So you can start slaving away at the game, just blasting crypto.
Beautiful.
Huge. Absolutely insane. That's big content right there. Ecto coins, yeah. Ecto coins.
I mean, they already have it. Just have you mine mystic coins.
Yeah, that one's very unlikely though. Don't think that one's going to happen. But yeah. I mean,
They're not going to do anything with Bitcoin.
To go back to the
so
elite
that's not
spec
gonna
thing,
happen.
do you think there's more? Is there any room for more elite specializations in the game, or do you
I
think
really-
they really struggle to put another set in?
I don't think they can do anymore. Honestly, I really don't.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really struggling with one more set. I think they could do one more set, but it's going to be a struggle and maybe not that great.
Like, is it how can they add something like that though that will be satisfying to the players? Because I think the elite specializations, new play styles, it's one of the things that really attracts people, gets people hyped up about expansions. How do they do that
Absolutely.
without doing that? Do you think it's enough to add a new weapon to a profession? Is it enough to add new
No.
utility skills? Is that going to generate the same level of hype? How do they how do they make that the next expansion they do or the next content drop they do? How is that going to be like, ooh, this is as big as Ender Dragon? It's bigger than Ender Dragons. It's huge.
Well, I mean,
what do you do?
New utility skills and new elite skills could be really cool. Like in Guild
Yeah,
Wars
we
1.
can get back the old Guild Wars 1, the elite
Signet
whatever.
of Capture.
Signet of-
Yeah.
Exactly, Signet of Capture. That'd be content like hell, though. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it would
Where
be
you,
content.
you
Culture-
find
the-
rare bounties and
I don't want to
capture
be
their elite skill.
I don't want to be boring here, guys. But if you add a new core trait line, that's arguably worse than adding a elite spec. It's like worse for balance. Because that means that every elite specialization can interact with it. It's actually what look, and you can tell that I'm right with this because look at some of the things that are actually quite problematic in balance. They're actually to do with core specs, like banners in PvE. Yeah, that's core warrior. Spirits, that's not druid, that's core ranger. It's actually really scary, like because it's been heavily implied that ranger and warrior are going to have banners and spirits reworked into giving quickness and alacrity. That is terrifying. That means that druid might have alacrity. You know, like every warrior spec might have quickness as well. That's pretty scary. It's pretty spooky that, you know, when you have something like that. I think that elite
I think that's
specializations are
perfectly
really
fine.
Wait, you play ranger? Thanks.
I know. That's why I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
He's going to be giving alacrity in his training runs, and people are still going to be doing low DPS, and he's going to flame them.
Inks is toxic. Inks is one of the most toxic players in the entire game. He's not denying it. Inks is the only relevant content creator in Guild Wars 2.
Let's just say that I've had family members play the game with me before, and they refuse to now play the game.
Really?
How are you a ArenaNet partner? You're driving sales away from the game, Inks.
Because
How are you worthy?
Because I'm friendly outside of the game.
Inks is, yeah, unbelievable.
You didn't get them to play the game.
You just can't play the game with me.
Oh, I see. So you got them to buy the game, and then you made them quit the game, so they're no longer taking up server resources.
And so now I have alt accounts.
Oh my god.
Big brain.
Oh, how many alts have you got, Inks? How many are you rolling?
Oh, I only have 2 alt accounts. Yeah.
2 accounts? Embarrassing.
Yeah, I've never, unfortunately, I've never been big brain enough to take advantage of sales and stuff.
Right. I like alt accounts. I think before the expansion, I harvested 25,000 gold from alts.
What the?
Approximately.
Hey, can I have some of that?
Win my tournaments, then yes. Because that's where it all goes. It's all, you know, I don't have that gold. I just put it all in the guild bank.
Win Teapot's money.
Yeah, you can win my gold. If you want to make me poor, do it. Now, I think people are pretty excited, though, actually. You know, yesterday it didn't happen, unfortunately, because the players weren't able to, they had to go. But we were trying to get a show match going. I think I'm tempted to start doing this regularly. This is going dangerously off topic, but it's an idea that I've had yesterday, and I thought, wow, that's actually a really sick idea. We were trying to organize a show match between, like, the winning team on both regions of the monthly automated tournament. And we actually managed to raise 12,000 gold for that match in like half an hour. Actually insane. It was wild. And then it didn't happen, yeah. I scammed everyone.
Okay, so where's that gold go?
I gave half of it to the players that were able to show up, and then half of it to the guild bank.
Wow.
I mean, that is a really good idea, trying to get the 2 winning teams.
I actually like that. Yeah. I might actually try and get that going regularly. I think it would be really hype. Like, people were excited. People were excited to see that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who
It's
didn't
not
show
long
up?
until.
Frostball.
Unfortunately, the some of the players on EU they weren't able to make it. They had to go.
Uh.
And well, to be fair, the NA players also had to go as well. So it was like no one could make it. So not ideal.
Fair enough.
It was a little too late, a little too late. But I think that's probably a pretty good place to wrap it up. Final thoughts. Tell me about the hype. Give me some energy, right? We are what? How many hours away from EOD are we? 17 hours or 19 hours from now, I think, or something like that. Okay. In that sort of region. Yep. Okay. Hype me up. Let's go.
EOD.
Don't all scream at once.
Oh, it's good.
I
Yeah.
don't know much about it, man.
I think it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be.
I think it'll be cool. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know what to say. I unfortunately
You all
I'm
suck.
working
All
on it.
the two of you suck.
Well,
You
Okay?
haven't said a single
This is going to be
thing yet.
huge. No, you need to
gonna be
get
great.
excited. You need to be streaming all day until you literally pass out at your keyboard. You need to be fishing, doing the stupid story. Excuse me, the fantastic story.
Inks!
You need to
Boy.
get the strikes.
Inks. It fell apart. It fell
It did
apart.
fall apart. It's good. Play it. Buy
It's
it
gonna
now.
be great.
Use Teapot's
I'm-
link. Give them some
Buy
money.
my referral link. Go.
I'm
also,
looking forward
turn
to
off ad
being-
block when you're doing it, or you literally can't buy the expansion.
True.
Get in there. Play the story. Get to strikes. Let's go. Let's game. Let's get it on. Gonna have it figured out on day 2.
It's going to be big. 2022 is the year of Guild Wars 2.
That's right.
For real this time. I've said that every year. This time I'm right. Let's
I
fucking
think you're
blast.
right. Yeah.
I think I
you're
actually
right.
am right. I think I actually am, though. Like, the past few years, I've said it ironically. It's been a joke. A hilarious.
Wait a second.
funny
Hold
joke.
on a second. You've been doing it ironically?
You
I
didn't
thought
know?
you were sincere this whole time.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, every year I was like, wow, if Teapot says it's going to be the year, this is going to be the year. And
See,
then-
this
and
is a
then-
big nose Ted situation all over.
Yeah.
Boots just believed.
Yeah.
Boots had hopium the entire time. He just didn't know it.
Yeah. Wow. But 2022, I agree. Wait, hold on a second. Are you being facetious again?
No.
No.
I'm actually serious.
No.
No, I actually think this
Okay.
is going to be a big year.
Yeah.
Look, I made a video about this even. I even made a video about this. Call it 2022 is the year of Guild Wars 2. So you can go and watch that video now. I think this is honestly one of the first times in Guild Wars 2 history that I think that there is a very good reason to be like universally optimistic about the future of the game. The expansion will probably be fun. It will be good. But I
Not
think that
probably.
really...
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Guarantee
Thank
you
you.
it's fun.
Inks is bringing the energy here. That's what I like to see. But yeah, I think the really big stuff is going to happen afterwards. Like Alliance, DX11, Steam release, right? Like the future plans, strike missions, the balance stuff. I mean, yeah, like if all of this stuff actually happens, which I think it will, I think ArenaNet's pretty committed to this at this point. You know, they're not on their other projects now. They're full on Guild Wars 2. They're all in Guild Wars 2 just like we are. Yeah, I mean,
You think-
everything looks good. There's not a single thing that I go, wow, that's going to be dog shit. This is terrible.
Do you think World vs. World Seasons is going to come back?
Oh, well, I think they'll do some, maybe not seasons, but there'll be some kind of competitive structure. I think that they might try and avoid
Oh,
seasons.
seasons were so good.
So good.
I
My
mean,
wife would start playing again.
No, seasons were good, Teapot. I don't care. People burnt themselves out in
Yeah.
seasons. We need that.
We need that.
I mean, seasons are good, but you don't want that to happen, right? Like, and if ArenaNet say
I
that
do.
people burned
I
out,
want that
then-
to happen. I
that's
want to see
quite
people
bad.
break down and cry because they played too much.
Wait,
Because they had to win so hard that they couldn't get off their computer to win.
This
Wow.
feeling that there's a lot of
No, Boots. No, it's good. It's good for the game, damn it.
is it? Does everyone
Yes.
burning out and uninstalling?
No, only the commanders burn out. The regular players don't burn out at all. They just love it.
Well, I think that also, like, stuff like seasons, it can potentially create very unhealthy gameplay patterns. Like playing 15 hours a day.
All I know is that so far
It's
I
good
think
for you, Teapot.
Inks has told us
Just
that
stretch
we want,
and drink some water. You're fine.
we want to have complete burnout. It's important, and then also
Only for
Yep.
commanders, and
need
then you
to
can replace
bury
them.
every single one of the NPC characters in their respective homes at the end of EOD. Yeah, it's It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And then we need the revival of structured PvP. Let's go. ArenaNet. Put it on the YouTubes. Let's go right now. Set it up. Put it on Twitch.tv. Big cash money prizes. Bring them back.
All PvP needs is just more players. PvP's fine. Like, ranked is good. The balance is getting a little bit better over time.
It needs cash infusion. Cash money, ArenaNet. Do it.
Well, look,
let's make it happen. You know what? I take it back. You don't need cash money. Give away GPUs that you can't even buy. Just do that.
Damn, that's not a bad idea.
That's a fantastic idea because they're better than money.
Why Inks, you could win some GPUs.
I need more GPUs. I don't have enough.
I have to go, guys. I really do. I'm sorry. I can't do an outro. I'm getting called.
Yeah, okay, right. Let's wrap this up real quick because it's already gone on for a very long time. So let's wrap this up. He's gone. There's no outro. Like, oh shit.
Boom. Follow Boots. He's awesome.
Follow Boots. Exclamation mark host in the chat. I'm Inks now, by the way, and Inks is Boots, and Brazil is me and himself.
I'm in half.
Yeah.
Oh,
you cut Brazil in half.
Okay, I think it is about time to kind of wrap things up, though. I think it's been a pretty meaty tea time, 3-hour long show with a huge amount of lateness thrown in there for good measure. So, gentlemen, give me some introductions. Brazil, hit the ham, beat the meat.
I'm trying to make sure that I'm in frame now.
You're good. You're good.
All right. I'm nice. Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Brazil, and today we have another tea time. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, UWV_Preston. You can find all my photography work and all my good, awesome shit at underworldvideo.com. You can see all the stuff that I do. You can see how I'm the best fucking photographer of all time. Unironically, I'm literally the best. Underworldvideo.com. You can buy all my artwork. You can make me rich. I want all of your money.
Ethereum.
Yeah, give me everything that you have. Anyways, UWV_Preston on Twitch. No, on Twitter for hot takes, cool stuff. Yeah, I flame people sometimes, and everywhere else.
Okay, nice. Inks.
All right, here's the deal. I'm going to be racing Teapot tomorrow.
Yep.
I fully expect to lose. That's okay. But we're going to get through the story, which I know will be awesome. I misspoke earlier. And we're going into strikes. It's happening.
Yep.
Strikes on day one. Mm-hmm. I will not stop streaming until I make it to strikes and play whatever the strike is or whatever the strikes are available. That is going to happen. That's real. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Second thing, I want big hype tomorrow. I don't want all this doomer chat. Oh, I don't like blah, blah, blah. No whining. Big hope. Big hopium.
Yep.
In chat all day long. Pay the teapot. He brings you maximum entertainment. Do it. Do it right now. And no, I don't want to see crying on Twitter. I can't play. I got to work. No, quit your job and play the damn game. Do it.
I like this. Everyone just sells out for me now. This is better. This is ideal. This is good.
This is good for Teapot.
Are you streaming? Are you gonna be going live?
Yeah, I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna stream the whole day from noon until I hit strikes.
Yep. So 12 hours, maybe 12 hours plus blast.
I don't care if it takes me 36 hours. I'm a little bit of a slow player, but I'm gonna try and go as fast as I can. Get through the story, get to strikes, however long that takes.
So either the strikes die or you die.
I will literally die at my computer if I don't make it to strikes.
Thank God.
I love it.
All right, then. Okay, so this is the end of this tea time, okay? By the time a lot of you are watching this, the expansion will be out.
Follow Boots. Follow Boots.
Yep. I'm doing the thing. Look, here's the hosts.
Do the thing.
Boom. Hosts! Look at that. Follow Boots as well, guys. But yeah, by the time a lot of you guys are seeing this, it will actually be the expansion. So make sure to tell us how wrong we were, or how right we were, I guess, about some of the things that happened. Okay, I'm hoping for at least 50% win rate on being at least semi-accurate about stuff. But yeah, let's go, guys. Tomorrow is End of Dragons. We're going to blast big time, okay? Obviously, I'm going to be streaming that, going crazy, going berserk, right? Okay, playing through all of the story, all of the content, all of the open world, okay? Strikes, elite specs, everything. We're going hard tomorrow. We're going big. See so you'd better be there. It's going to be some insane hype. Guild Wars 2 is back on the menu. We've been off the menu in the trash for years, okay? A joke, okay? We're literally a bad joke that even the shit MMOs make fun of, guys, okay? That was us for a long time. But no, Guild Wars 2 is back on the menu.